You're watching The Last Stand with Brian Custer.
Yes, it is The Last Stand, and we're live. I'm Brian Custer. I told you we're going to be doing a lot more of these shows, and we got so much to talk about for the next 3 hours. We got a whole lot because I was just in Vegas over the weekend. We got to talk about Sebastian Fundora, the way he defended his title against Keith Thurman. We got special guests for you as well. We got one of the most renowned trainers in the sport of boxing, Breadman, Stephen Edwards. He's going to be one of our guests. He's going to join us in the next hour, so you don't want to miss that. Also, we got former world champion Regis Prograis, the Rougarou. He is back. He's got that fight with Conor Benn. He's going to join us at noon Eastern. You don't want to miss that, so we're going to talk to him as well. So much to dive into, not only with that fight that we just saw at 154 pounds. Hey, Xander Zayas got on there, and Boots got on there and said, listen, they have signed on in a unification fight to fight each other for Zayas' 2 belts. Barclays Center, June 27th. We'll get in on that, and certainly want to hear Breadman's thoughts on that, considering the Philly connection with Boots and him. Tszyu, he's fighting this weekend. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. By the way, one of the things that I learned, and I know that you guys, especially boxing fans, know about this, Tszyu and Errol Spence have signed on for a big fight this summer. I'm going to give you all the details. I found out about that. I'm going to tell you about where Errol Spence has been training, with whom. And from my understanding, this is a fight that's going to go down July, if not July, August at the latest. And you know what? We're going to interview Tszyu on The Last Stand too. So we're going to be doing that and be looking out for that episode coming out. One of the things too you'll hear and we'll talk about is how Roy Jones went viral over this weekend. That corner talk he gave Kevin Newman, who, by the way, got a big victory over Elijah Garcia. What he said to him, viral. And I think more trainers need to be more blunt with their fighters about that. So we'll talk about that as well. How about the heavyweight, Moses Itauma? Did you see what he did to Jermaine Franklin? Man, this kid, and he's 21 years old. I'm telling you, over there in Britain, England got a monster over there, man, in the heavyweight division, and he's coming, and he's only 21 years of age. Also, we're going to hear from you, so make sure send in your questions, either that or log on. We'll bring you up. You can ask any of your questions. We'll answer all of those. So we got 3 hours of all kinds of stuff. I got all kinds of insight to tell you about stuff that went down in Vegas. Rolly, Devin Haney. I'll give you some insight on how those negotiations been going, and make sure you support the show. You see the QR code there. Listen, we'll take anything, $1, $2, $5, whatever. Just support the show, man. We're going to be doing a lot more of these lives. We're also going to be taking the shows on the road, taking them to different fights, do all kinds of stuff. Matter of fact, listen, we got new merch. You want to purchase some merch? We got t-shirts, Last Stand t-shirts. Look at that. Look at that. Last Stand t-shirts. You can get these athletic t-shirts here, wear for $30. Hit the QR code, and we'll make sure you send that. And we got new sweatshirts just like this, just like that. Last Stand sweatshirts. I'm wearing one myself. New merch there as well. Sweatshirts just $40. Hit the QR code, send us a little something, and we'll send you out some stuff. All right. So you know what? Let me bring in my guys. You talk about The Last Stand. Let me give you, these guys are the backbone of the show. Alex Lainez. Look, y'all know Alex from, a lot of y'all know him from the boxing biz. My son, Colin, come on in. Let's talk about it. We got so much. We got 3 hours, fellas. 3 hours, and we got a whole lot to get into because this was some weekend for the sport of boxing. And we'll start with what went down in Vegas, the MGM Grand, and Sebastian Fundora taking on Keith Thurman. And, I think this one was interesting, Alex, because, going into it, it was supposed to go down. Obviously we've had both of these guys on The Last Stand. Matter of fact, we had just had the episode with Sebastian Fundora. This was supposed to go down in October. Fundora hurts his hand, basically sparring. doesn't have surgery, but I thought it was great that his father, and he gives us some insight in the boxing. He said, no, we postponing this until it's totally healed. I don't want you to have surgery. I want to make sure it heals and heals naturally, but totally. And so that's why we didn't have that fight until just now here in March. I don't know how many months is that? What, 6 months later, for whatever the months it is later. And that's because they said they wanted to make sure it was totally healed, no surgery. And, you know, a lot of people looked at it like, well, for Sebastian Fundora, cats are like, is he really that good? I mean, I know that he starts Tszyu, but that was probably the first time he actually used his height and his reach and actually fought like he was 6'5". I don't know, because he likes to bang so much and he's such a great inside fighter, I think that's going to be his downfall, because now he's fighting Keith Thurman. And I know Thurman hasn't been away from the ring for a long time, but that's still Keith Thurman. That's still one time. That's still a guy who's so smart. He's got so much great lateral movement that he can probably confuse and make Fundora open up, cross over his feet, and boom, hit him with some stuff. I just think, and I hear a lot of people say, I'm thinking Keith Thurman. I'm thinking Keith Thurman's going to do this. Man, that was one-way traffic. Did you see Keith's face?
Ouch.
He see his face, Alex? I was like, damn. I mean, yo, and you know this, Al, being a fighter, he was patient. Just, you know.
No, he was tracking him down.
Tracking him, boom, hitting that jab, bop, bop, jab, bop, jab, boom, in the left hand, bop, boom, in the left hand. And man, how about my man Keith afterwards? My man Keith afterwards was like, yo, what that ref? But first of all, Thomas Taylor's probably the best ref in the sport of boxing right now. Talking about I was just getting into the grind. Did you see Eric Morales when Eric Morales fought? I was just getting warmed up. I was starting really getting my stuff off then. We like Keith. I think Bubba Dub said it best. Keith, if Thomas Taylor didn't stop that fight then, we would have been burying you on Wednesday.
Is that what he said? Man. Oh, man.
What'd you think, Alex? And let me ask you this, Alex. What'd you think of the fight? And did it go the way you thought, or were you one of those who thought maybe Keith Thurman? I think it's the experience is going to shine through.
Listen. BC, I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Come on.
You know, I'm not going to be one of the guys that buys the winner's train. I'm not going to be one of those guys.
Colin.
You know what I mean? But I'm definitely going to say that, you know, I didn't expect it to go down that way. Yeah. I expected Thurman to engage a little more. I think he waited a little too long to make it ugly. You know, after the fight, he was saying, you know, I was waiting for him to, you know, the young boys, they make the mistakes. Once they start throwing, you waited too long. Yeah. You waited too long. This was something that I would have appreciated Thurman done very early and just kind of shot his shot early, because the more he waited, the more he was getting battered. I don't know who beats this guy. You're fighting a praying mantis. The guy is hitting you from 5 feet away. How do you even get to him? You got to make it ugly. And we saw that Tszyu was able to do that in the later rounds. And it's something that really surprised me about Thurman, and I didn't understand when he was going to go ahead and shoot his shot. There was a couple of punches that he did hit Fondora with, and you saw that Fondora reacted right away with aggression. And if he would have maybe been in the pocket a little bit more, he would have got to, you know, maybe have a little bit more of those opportunities that he talked about post-fight. But let me tell you, man, the referee saved you.
Yes, he did.
I never seen Thurman like that, man. I felt
bad.
Face.
Oh my God.
He was cut up. Yes. His legs were worn out. He wasn't able to move anymore. And if you start to see the body language change from round 1 to the later rounds to where he got stopped in the 6th, you saw that his legs started to gas. So he was on his decline. His shot was early, man. It was early. And Fondora, what can I say, man? Fondora's, I don't know who beats this guy. I don't know who can get to him. I don't know if Jaron gets to him. I don't know if Virgil's aggression gets to him. I don't know who can actually bypass that 11-inch reach advantage. Now, that was an 11-inch reach, obviously, with Thurman. Some of the other guys might have 2 inches, maybe a little more than Thurman. But it's still 9 inches away, bro. Like, who's beating this guy, man?
Right.
I was impressed. And, you know, I think Fondora is going to be dominating these guys. And even though, you know, you got guys like Jaron, Virgil, and the guys I just mentioned that can possibly do something, I just don't see it happening, man. I don't. This guy's a freak of nature. I don't know.
What do you think, Colin? Tell did it go the way you thought?
Mic up.
Put your mic on, man. You got to put your mic on. Come on. That's a rookie mistake.
Mic up.
Mic up.
All right, you can hear me now?
There we go, champ. There we go, champ.
All I'm gonna say is before the fight, guess who asked my prediction and what did I say? Fondora TKO. Did I not?
Let's see.
Did I not?
I'm calling him out. Let me call him out. Let me call him out.
Check the text.
Let me see.
I said Fondora TKO.
TKO.
Pull it up.
Damn,
Pull
you
it
saw
up.
it like that. You know what, man?
Pull up the receipts.
I think Colin's predictions are not tainted by us OGs that
I've
been following Thurman for a while and had some hopes.
Bro, Thurman is an injury-prone fighter who's on the long layoffs.
Yeah, he did. He said Fundora TKO. He did.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Thurman had a puncher's chance, but Fondora's jab was too much the entire time. And Thurman's not quick enough. Fondora cut off the ring very well, and you could see it towards the end. Like, that was a great stoppage because Thurman was about to hit the ground. He almost hit the ground with that I forget what punch it was. Yeah,
you're right.
I mean,
that's right. Yeah,
yes.
right.
Yeah. He buckled him bad.
Left, right?
Yeah, buckled him bad. And after I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's over. Because you can't even get on the inside. And I remember you telling me he's going to throw a sweeping hand. But that would be desperation at that point. I'm going to be honest. Because it wouldn't have landed. It wouldn't have landed. The
he tried. So you saw him try a couple of times.
Yeah, but it was a Fondora masterclass. I'm going to be honest. Like, the progression on Fondora is the sky's the limit for him. I'm going to be honest.
People been sleeping on. I think it's because
it's just because of the knockout.
I think it's because of his demeanor, right?
Yeah, he's a quiet guy.
He wears who does
glasses.
This? Who does the glass? They got to put the glasses on after every fight.
I can finally see you.
So he can see him and his sister, who, by the way, is the undisputed champion at flyweight.
She's a dog.
I mean, they got to put glasses on. And I asked him, I said, why don't you get LASIK or something? He's like, yeah, I just haven't done it, man. And I don't want to.
I guess you don't really need to see
if
too
it ain't
much.
broke,
You got an 11-inch reach.
Yeah.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, bro. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I think a lot of it is because, again, people looked at him, and I kind of talked about this on the broadcast. They looked at him as a novelty act. I mean, he's 6'5", he gangly, like my man Alex said. He looked like a praying mantis.
You Slender Man.
Yeah, exactly. But
Slender Man.
Slender Man.
Yes. and he wants to fight on the inside, but you know what? Hey, I give Freddie Fundora, his father, a lot of credit. They're very smart.
They had a great game plan. It was perfection.
It was, we gonna keep him at the end of this jab, and we're gonna be patient. Because he's gonna get tired, and I'll be honest with you. Keith got tired probably around the third round.
I would say round 2 or 3. Yeah,
all that movement you can see
side to side. It was too much.
It slowed down.
When Fondora cut it off, it was over.
It slowed down after that fourth round. You could see he was tired, and I thought this was something too. One of the things I like sitting up next to Joe, you get a really good insight on the sport, Alex, that that you participate in, and he said the way his face was all battered up and messed up like that. He said you can tell in sparring that he used the headgear, that headgear that covers you like this.
Covers you in the front,
right here. He said that's why he was.
It beats you right here.
He said that's why his shit was all messed up. He said because you can tell that in sparring he ain't had no fist going at him because of probably because he's older, and they probably said, okay, well, let's try to cover up as much as we can. Blah 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 blah. The rest, and
he had 2 camps pretty much. There were two camps he had. So you can't overwork yourself.
Yes,
he already had 2 camps.
You can't. I mean, we say this all the time. Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing about it is I know some people are going to be like, well, what about Bud Crawford? Bud Crawford, 36, 38 years old. But Bud is always in the gym. He's even if he ain't fighting, he's sparring with Shakur. He's sparring with somebody. He's still always active. And
you know what? 2 fights in the last
6 years.
That's
6 years,
terrible, man. That's terrible.
2 fights in 6. That inact. You know this, Alex. I can be the gym champion, the undisputed gym champion over here at Wall Athletics, and I'm in here in Jersey. I can go into Wall Athletics, my gym, and go in there and be whooping everybody's ass up in the gym in the ring.
Yeah.
You put me up at the MGM Grand in front of all these people now is different.
Yeah, that adrenaline, that
adrenaline, and now you got this real 6'5" dude, where it's like, yo, the dudes I was sparring with was 6'4". This dude's reaches long. It's different.
You know, you saw Thurman with the bag in his gym.
Yes,
he raised it up.
Raised it up.
Not one overhand.
Not one.
Not one overhand.
See?
You hitting this bag in the gym, selling this dream, my brother. Look, and I got maybe with some regular dudes. Thurman's still doing good.
Yeah.
You wasn't ready for this.
Nah.
You're throwing overhands on this bag. Not one overhand, bro. Not one overhand. He didn't put any of that into play, man. And who are you gonna spar?
Yeah.
Who are you gonna spar that mimics this guy? Who you gonna call NBA players in?
Yeah, you're right.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, Fondora did his thing. I mean, he knew he's not gonna go into slugfest with Keith Thurman. Like that was never the game plan. And he had a great jab that night. And all you can do is build on this momentum because that jab in that range is like unstoppable. You can't even get on the inside against that guy. That's
Deceptive
why the overhand.
Yeah. Exactly. And Tim Tszyu said that too in the thing. He said, you know, quiet as cat. This guy hits like a motherfucker. And you saw that, Colin. You made that point. What happened in that second round when Thurman tried to get in? He went in and then boom. He was like, oh, snap.
Yeah, he stood on those knees, man.
Yes.
Those knees ain't give out though,
man.
That age, but those knees ain't give out because that was a real short shot too.
It was.
And it's funny I'm saying short shot, right? Because he's back here with it.
Right.
He's saying short shot, but damn, he caught him good. And thuddy punches too.
Something to talk about is the whole build up to the fight. Fondora wasn't talking too much. He didn't say too much what he was going to do. He just said, I'm going to win and I'm going to knock him out. That's all he said every time.
That's his MO. Listen, Keith Thurman is, and I say this all the time, Keith Thurman is great for the sport. There's nobody who can talk a fight like Keith Thurman. You need that. You need that. I mean, he is great for I got a chance to even see his father. I hadn't seen his father in a long time.
Wow, man.
And saw Mr. Thurman there. He came up, gave me a big hug, and I told him I love his son. And I want Keith to keep fighting. And Keith wants to keep fighting. He needs to keep fighting. He's only have 2 fights in 6 years. Look, everybody needs to make some money. And
true.
And I'm happy he got this. But that's the main reason why I think afterwards, where he was like, yo, that ref shouldn't have stopped that fight. I was just getting in the grind because Keith wants to keep talking so he can get another matchup. And they can bring him back.
He chose the tall task to come back to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an awful comeback fight, honestly, to be honest.
Here's the thing, though. It was the only thing he could do, though.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Not too many options out there.
There weren't any other options.
Out there.
There weren't any other options for him. And so he had to accept this young monster. And it goes to what we just said at the very beginning. He really believed, man, I've seen this dude because he sat with us when Fundora fought Tim Tszyu the second time right there at the MGM Grand. Keith Thurman was the guest. He sat right there with it. He was watching like, oh, look at these openings. Oh man, Tim need to be doing this. So he saw it and he really thought like, oh, I'm gonna get this.
That's light work.
Sounds good when you sitting down and watching the fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was the deal. Now, and I think that's why afterwards he came out and was like, oh, you shouldn't have stopped that fight. I was just getting in the grind, baby. I was just getting warmed up. I was, really, because he wants another fight. And I tell you what, you put him with, I would like to see him. Oh God, who would be a good match? You know what? How about like somebody like who we had on the show in our last live, like Tony Harrison?
Okay. I mean, you know, Tony's been off too. Tony's been off too. I think
what I'm saying?
I think they could come back and be like, okay, this is the fight of who still got it.
Yeah, right. Now, I know Tony wants Charlo, and trust me, that the build up to that. Oh my God, the stuff they say to one another. Good Lord.
Shit.
That
OTB says Lubin.
Well, we got a super chat up here right now, BC. We're going to throw that up there real quick. Yeah. And we did put a poll up right now. Can Keith Thurman continue fighting with success? That's the poll right now. But we're going to go ahead and put up the super chat. You know, we got to show love to everybody that shows us love. Yes, right? Absolutely. So let's go. My man, HTX Rodriguez. What's up with Rolly and Dev?
Okay.
You had a little bit on this.
Yeah. I woke up this morning, saw a tweet from Devin Haney saying that the fight's negotiations are falling through because of Rolly, apparently.
So here we go. So here we go. So obviously, you know, being up there, I had the opportunity to speak to a lot of the people from PBC. So, and the one thing I learned from them I thought was interesting. When I saw when you sent that to me, Colin, was when the PBC people told me, said, well, we got Rolly done. We still waiting for Bill and Devin to actually sign the deal, but we got Rolly done. So that tells me, Alex, especially since you are the boxing biz and the business of boxing, that tells me there's a battle over who wants to be the A side.
Yeah. And you know what? But, you know, Rolly, when we had Rolly up, you know, he wasn't really, I didn't really see him battling it out too much with that. I'm thinking that Rolly knows the danger he's in, and he's just trying to get as much money as possible. I think that might be it right there. I don't think Dev's worried about this fight. I don't think he's worried or feels like he's in danger of losing. I think he knows that he's a better boxer. You know, I'm not going to say he's a harder puncher. I'm not going to say any of that, but a better boxer. And I mean, if Dev's saying that, you know, didn't he tell us that that Rolly had sent over a reasonable offer?
Well, that's what Dev said. He sent over he said a reasonable offer. Reasonable,
but not one he'd or accept immediately.
Exactly. So I that's the way I take when I heard from the PBC people and they said, well, we got Rolly's stuff side. I think that and you know, PBC I think wants to host that fight and be the kind of lead on that. That tells me So it tells me that it's a battle over the A side. Whereas Dev's like, oh, wait a minute now. Oh, I'm not going to be the B side, not the Rolly.
And you heard him say it with Ryan when Ryan said that, oh, I'll fight him. I got to be the A side. And he said there is no A side because it's Turkey Al Sheikh money.
Right.
But now that you have him crossing over to another platform, I feel like he's like, I want my respect because I know this is a PBC guy. I'll make it a PBC fight as long as I am the main star of the PBC fight, you know?
Right. Absolutely. I
do respect Devin Haney for knowing his worth and not giving into a fight just because. But we want to see the fight. You already said the fight is going to happen. You've gone on. You've done your press tour saying the fight's going to happen. Rolly said it's going to happen. So it's not looking good, to be honest. Honestly, I feel like it should be done by now.
May 30th, and I think, you know, let's see, you generally want 8 weeks. So if you have, that's the end of May, that's 4, and then so you want this thing, you definitely want it done by the beginning. Yeah, you want it done by the beginning of April because you want at least 8 weeks for not only a camp, but like you said, a media tour to get cats coming here to New York if you're going to do it here in New York or whatever the press tour you're going to do for that thing. You want a couple of weeks to knock that out. So appreciate that. Hey man, we certainly appreciate that. Keep the questions coming. And again, hit the QR code there, man. We appreciate y'all supporting the show. We certainly going to be doing a lot more of these. If you want, again, we got new merch. You want some merch, $30 for the t-shirts, $40 for the hoodies. Hey, so let me ask you this. If you look at 154, right? Is Sebastian Fondora the best fighter? Is he the best fighter at 154, and it's two-pronged, Alex. Is he the best fighter at 154? And give me your top 5 fighters at 154 right now.
154 is cooking right now, man.
It is.
It's
cooking.
It's got guys.
You got it's hot like a mug. It's hot like a mug.
Hey, you got. I like it because you got cats in their prime. I mean, 24, 25, up to 28, and then you got all these OGs who were legends at 147, now at 154. So you got the old and the new all in one division. So
let's just start, I guess, by saying that you got the top dogs with the brass, right? You got Xander Zayas, you got Vergil Ortiz with the interim, you got Jaron with the interim. These are the top guys, and these are the fights that we want to see. Now we know Vergil Ortiz had a little bit of a legal thing going on with Golden Boy
and with his manager Rick Maurician.
And Rick, man, I mean, according to, if anybody's not watching the Oscar De La Hoya Clapback Thursdays, what are you doing? One of my favorite segments.
Unbelievable.
Right now.
It's unbelievable.
He talks about the manager. He talks about what kind of I guess what paywall, if you want to call it, he put him in, because right now he got him on the side. And Vergil Ortiz is one of those guys that I would like to see fight Sebastian Fondora to see who's the top dog. Sebastian, however, after last night, I can't take too much from it, BC, because I got to understand that Thurman is 37, 2 fights in the last 6 years. I can't take too much from it. But what I can take from it is the composure that he showed. And that tells a lot to me. That composure can go into a fight with Vergil. It can go into a fight with Ennis. So again, I'm going to put Sebastian Fondora right now as the most dangerous. I had Jaron Ennis as the most dangerous. Now, I don't know what my man Boots or what we might see, right? When we go and maybe pay a visit over there to Boozy and the whole crew. But to me, Jaron was the most dangerous guy. The most fights, too, that he has at all these 154-pound fighters. To me, he's very well seasoned, experienced, amateur pedigree. So, Sebastian, I don't think had an amateur pedigree of the sorts, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if he had like a huge amateur background.
Right.
So, Jaron Ennis is going to have to bring that experience in when he goes up against Sebastian Fondora. But that's the guy that I think can be dangerous and falls in second place for me. Then you have Vergil Ortiz, then Xander Zayas, and of course you got IBF champ Josh Kelly that I'll put in on the last stretch of that list. But right now, Sebastian, man, he's just he's only going to get better, man. And these advantages, I just can't. I don't know who's gonna figure this guy out. This guy's a Rubik's cube right now.
That's interesting. I like it. What about yours, Colin? Is Fundora the best?
I got Boots. I got Boots number 1.
Okay.
And honestly, the way Boots looks against Zayas and the way Zayas looks, I feel like they're interchangeable to me. I would go either Boots 1A and Zayas 1B, and then Fundora, and then Vergil's in there, obviously, and don't sleep on EJ now. 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 That's my guy.
What'd you take out of that little pad work that you saw the other day? What'd you take?
Errol looking slim. He's looking ready. Errol looks ready. I don't know about mentally though. I don't know how mentally he'll be coming back and fighting on the big stage again, because it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Since we've had Errol Spence in the ring.
And we were just talking about that.
We were just talking about Keith and his long layoffs, but I feel like Errol's skills are top notch. While I don't think he'd beat Fondora just because the style matchup, I don't think Errol's got it in him right now. Because you see how Terrence Crawford's reach did with Errol. He couldn't even. He muted his entire offense.
It's good you mentioned that, Colin.
Yeah. Bud's reach was pretty long, and he had a tough time. But I say don't sleep on Errol. Don't sleep on Errol. But yeah, I got 1A, 1B for me are Boots and Xander, and I need that fight. And I heard it's coming soon. I don't know what you know about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So it looks like, you look, Xander has already, he already put it out on social media. Look, I've signed on. I'm ready to go. And then Boots, I guess, retweeted it backwards and was like, yeah, I see you, buddy.
He said, buddy.
Go ahead. So that, and from everything we've heard is going to be June 27th, I think, at Barclays.
Yeah.
So listen, I got Fundora. I think right now at 154, I think Fundora. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to take the
Inferno.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the E. I don't want to say the easy way out. I'm just going to say I'm just going to give respect to the guys who have the belts. So,
Josh Kelly.
So if that's the case, the guys who have the belts, I'm going to say, in my opinion, Fundora is probably the top guy right now. He has the momentum. He's probably the most difficult matchup
for sure
at 154.
I'll agree with that.
Most difficult out of everybody.
I agree with that.
He's the most difficult. So I'm going to give him number 1. I'm going to put Xander Zayas at number 2, only because he's got 2 belts. He's got 2 belts. And I think he's a phenomenal fighter and a young, hungry lion. And just starting to come into his own. So I'll put him at number 2. Number 3, Josh Kelly. Obviously, I'm going to give Josh Kelly give him his props. I know they're
Virgil.
Yes, I'm going to give him his props.
Wow.
Only because he's champ. He's a legit. And I say legitimate, but you know what I mean. I don't count interim. I don't count interim.
Yeah, no interims. Okay.
I don't count interim titles. That's
okay.
just interim.
All right.
Because he has the strap and he has the years of experience. I'm gonna give him number 3. And then number 4, I got Boots, man. I got Boots now. Only because now, if Boots was a champion, Bootsy would be for me probably number 2.
We're going skill for skill, though. We're going skill for skill.
But BC's giving that medal.
He's trying to do I'm trying to give that business professional answer. We want the raw answer. Who's better?
I'm just saying. Well, we got to find out. But I'm saying right now, the most difficult matchup is Fundora right now, and the way he's fighting.
I can't even say nothing against that, man.
He keep a lot of people at bay. As long as he keeps using that jab,
Terrence Crawford too, like Colin said, like I always had Terrence as somebody that had those physical advantages, and the reach was one of them, right? He can always beat you maybe about 2 inches to the punch, right? Jab for jab, he's always going to touch you first.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do with Fondora?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. And then I got Virgil. I got Virgil number 5. Those are my top 5. Now,
so wait a minute. You had where you had Xander at?
I had Xander number 2. Wow. So I had Fundora, Xander, Josh Kelly, Boots, Virgil. Those are my top 5.
That's official, man, because Xander always gets a lot of slack because he's probably the most inexperienced. He's young.
Hey man, the dude, he got 2 belts. I'm giving him his respect. I'm giving him his respect. Now, there's a guy.
I think I know who you're gonna say.
There's a guy out there who said, I'm mad. In fact, he FaceTimed me. And Colin knows this is true story. He FaceTimed me Saturday night. Oh, not Saturday night. I'm sorry. Friday night. Right. I was in the bed. He FaceTimed me and was like, what's up? I'm coming to the fight. Ain't nobody respecting me. I'm the guy. I'm the guy at 154. I don't know why people ain't talking about me. I don't know why they ain't talking about me in these fights with these cats. But I'm going to let everybody know that I am still the king at 154. It was Jermell Charlo. And matter of fact, we got a clip because it went viral all over social media of him after the fight of Fondora and Thurman. Take a listen to what Jermell Charlo had to say after the fight.
Let's bring him up.
Bring him up.
No, I don't know what else to do in boxing right now. I've been waiting, trying. I don't know what else.
Jermell, you were the man of this division, but each of your titles went vacant, man. What do you say to people?
I think I should send up some lawsuits like Davis did and get my belts back because, like, I didn't get it. I didn't get. They took my belts over.
We gotta defend them to not get stripped.
Why y'all take my belts then?
Because you gotta defend them to not get stripped, Jermell.
I get that, but.
What are you talking about? They took his belts, BC.
So he said like Davis did. So in other words, what he's saying is, y'all took away his belts at 154, and he said, well, why? I didn't lose them. I took a loss to Canelo, but that was at 168. I didn't lose them. I didn't lose my belts. My 154 belts weren't on the line for this fight. I lost no one has taken my belts. They just took them away, but it was because he was inactive. He hadn't fought really. And then you heard him say, well, what about Davis? Davis sued. Tank supposedly got his belt back. Remember, they had taken, when some of this legal stuff was going down, they took Tank's belt away. And then all of a sudden now he's been reinstated back as the WBA champion because some people, I think from the PBC lawyers, like said, no. Look, some of these charges against Tank have gone away. Give him his belt back because we're trying to bring him back this summer against Pitbull.
Word on the street. Word on the street.
I'm just giving y'all some little stuff. Word on the street.
Let's continue with what he was
saying.
So
that's what he's saying when he said Davis sued and got his belt back. Why can't I get mine back? So keep going.
Let's go.
I defended. When I fought in 2023, I was strict on my WBO title before I even fought. So I didn't get my.
But one way or another, if you don't defend them for 4 years, they're gonna get taken off you. You know,
I get that, but they didn't even give me a chance. 4 years, motherfucker. I ain't been out the ring 4 years. Since 154.
Hey yo, he went off on him.
Now, right
that
there,
was a genuine question.
Right there, he's talking about the WBO, and he's right. So the WBO, when he walked into the ring against Canelo, the WBO took their belt away from him because they didn't want him. They wanted him to, fight a mandatory as opposed to fighting Canelo. And so that's what he's talking about there. Hey, look, the WBO didn't even give me an opportunity to defend the belt. They took my belt as soon as I walked into the ring with Canelo.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Since June 154.
I've been on the ring since 2023. And I've been asking every day to come back. But, we ain't gonna tell you that. We ain't gonna tell you that. I hate them. What y'all talking about? We've been here a long time ago. Y'all was giving everybody else fights. Only issue with Errol is he got in the ring for Fondora. You can't handle that. You can't.
He said you can't handle that.
He's talking about Errol. He said Errol. People couldn't understand him. He said Errol. Errol got there. Now, if people remember, Errol Spence did get in the ring after the Fundora, was it Tszyu fight? Was it Fundora Tszyu 1 or?
I think it was 2.
It was 2. I think it's 2. It was 2. He got in the ring, and people might forget that, but he got in the ring. I'll give you some more on that too. And so that's what
the second one for sure.
That's what Maul is talking about there, where he was like, I've been begging and pleading to get into the ring, and then all of a sudden Errol jumps in the ring after the Fondora. He can't handle that. Keep going.
Fondora, I just watched him. He can't beat Fondora. I just watched him. Now, if he could beat Fondora, fight me first.
Who's this you're saying? Could that fight you first? You talking about Keith still or
something? On my face, dude. Ask somebody.
Oh my God.
He's talking to Sean Zattel, who's a great guy. I love Sean.
That's my boy, man. Sean, man.
Sean's got you got to keep. See, you got to know Mel. Because Mel can go here, there, but you gotta stay engaged. So he was talking about Errol, and then Sean was like, "What are you talking about, Thurman?" That pissed him off. He's like, "Motherfucker, I've just been talking about Errol. What are you talking?"
Yeah.
If you had a choice right now, who would you put? Like, who would be like, I beat that guy right now, put him in the ring and with me?
That bitch they just fought. What the fuck you talking about?
Gosh, man.
Nobody took my title. Nobody. I lost my title.
Hey, yo, he's wound up, bro.
This is a crash. This is a 10 out of 10 crash out right now.
Yo, he's
turned
wound
up.
bro.
For no reason.
What you talking about? Fondora.
My guy
Crash
Mel is
out
turned
for
up.
no reason.
He's trying to preach the gospel to y'all. Keep going.
I fucking know, dog. Get the money, dummies.
How the
Get the
politics,
money, dummies.
how the politics look now for
Get me out of
you?
here.
Get me out of
Get me
here.
out of here.
I'm gonna show you something. I'm ready, baby. That's all I got. Get me out of here.
I love it.
You gotta say what's up. That's it. The fuck Fondora, fuck Keith Thurman. I should have. I ain't worried about none of them. Fuck Errol Spence, fuck Zayas, and fuck Boots, fuck all y'all.
Zion.
Ortiz. I run Texas, dummy. I run.
Run that back. You hear anybody saying about Ortiz?
He said, "Fuck all of them."
I run Texas.
Fuck everybody
Yo.
is what he said.
He spazzed,
Fuck
bro.
everybody.
So now I'm now I know Mel's special. Trust me. I get it. I get it, folks. I get it. By the way, I think it was Fight Hype or whatever who had that clip. Thank you for that. Give him props.
Shout out to Fight Hype. Sean Sattel's great, man. He's a great interviewer.
Yes, great dude, man. But you got to follow Mel because Mel can go all over the place, but you just got to make sure you follow and know where he's going. And so what he's saying, his whole basis of his argument is he's been asking and asking to come back. People won't. He feels like whether it's PBC or whomever has not put him into a fight. He did tell me that Matchroom and Eddie Hearn is like, yo, I'll put you with Boots. I'll make this fight with you in Boots. The problem is, as he said, he told me, this was what our conversation was that Eddie wants to sign him to a deal. And he doesn't. He said, I don't need a promoter. I don't need a promoter. I'm not trying to sign no promotional deal with nobody. And you know, a lot of people be like, well, you know, he's at PBC. He's with Al Heyman. Al Heyman's a manager. He's not a promoter. He's not a promoter. That's why when we do PBC fights, you always see it's TGB Promotions. It's Tom Brown. That he's the promoter for PBC, but they're not signed to TGB. They just work as the lead promoter to promote the fights for Al Heyman. So that's what he's saying. I've never lost these belts in the ring at 154. The belt that Sebastian Fundora has is the WBC belt, my green belt that they just took from me. And he's saying, so why can't I have these fights with these guys when I've never lost the belts in the ring, so to speak? You know, he's like, I take the money, dummy. Who wouldn't take the money against Canelo?
Right. Now, that was a lottery ticket, man.
It was supposed to be his brother, but his brother was having issues at the time. And so they said, well, we don't want to lose the fight because we've got Canelo at the time. PBC had Canelo signed to, I think, a couple of fights. They didn't want to lose it. And so they said, well, Mel, can you step up for your brother and take this fight? Because they didn't have anybody else at the time who could do it. And so he was like, yeah, I'll do it. Let me do it. And so now he's like, well, look, you know, why don't Errol Spence fight me? You know, they don't train it together anymore. Neither one are with Derrick James anymore. They don't train together like they used to. So that's why he's been playing like, yo, come on, Errol Spence, let's go fight. Now, Errol, on the other hand, Errol's been training and he looks at it like, man, this dude's just trying to get a money fight off of me. I ain't with that. I think
that Errol Spence and Jermell, I think that fight will do good, man. I mean,
trust me, it would. I got some sparring footage from them two sparring where, you know, I went to Dallas to watch them train and seeing that stuff. So it would be one heck of a fight. But now, if you want to, you want to hear about Errol Spence?
Let's hear about EJ.
Do, man.
Okay,
EJ,
okay.
man. I mean, look,
Okay,
man,
so-
a lot of people have like a question mark right over that man's head. Is he able to come back mentally, right? Colin just mentioned it. It's a mental thing, too.
It's a mental thing more than the physical thing, in my opinion.
Errol has been fasting. Errol has been watching what he eats. Errol is lean and ripped. Errol has been training. Right now, he's trying to figure out who's going to be his trainer, who's going to be his coach. And so he's been kind of working with different guys to get that. Hey, I'm interested to hear what Breadman has to say. You know, he worked with Breadman for a little bit.
Yeah.
He got some work in with Breadman for a while. And said he loved Breadman's knowledge of the sport. That he said, man, he knows the history. And he's right. Breadman can tell you things about Sugar Ray Robinson, Jack Johnson. He knows everything about the sport. So he liked it. He did like that. But as he has been working out here lately, Errol, in Houston, under the tutelage of Ronnie Shields. He's been getting in work with and likes it. And they vibed off each other. In fact, I think people probably have seen maybe on social media that Jamal has even been back in working out a little bit. And that was one of the problems. That's why they took Jermell off of that card. He was supposed to be the co-main under the Benavidez card. He was supposed to fight Resendiz. And the problem was Maul was not training like he should, is what the PBC felt. And they didn't think he would make weight, B, look the best that he could. And they felt like that Benavidez card is too big of a card for him not to A, make weight, and B, not look good.
Yeah,
and
that makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, if anything, they're protecting him, man.
And that's why they flipped it and said, you know what? We'll put Jaime Munguia on here. Yeah, we'll have him fight Resendiz. And so, but Errol has been working out with Ronnie Shields. He's, if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be back in Houston. I want to say mid-April to go back there to Ronnie Shields' camp, because Ronnie's working out. I think he's got a fight with Vito Malnicki, I think, coming up here, and so he's got that here in Atlantic City. But Errol's going to be back there on they have agreed to a fight with Tszyu. You know, Tszyu's fighting this weekend because Tszyu likes to stay active. He ain't waiting for nobody.
He's an active guy.
You got to give him credit for that too, man.
I like that.
He took some losses and he's still staying active.
But I'm gonna still fight. And fighting a guy you would look, we're gonna talk to him for the last stand. And one of the questions I'm asking, I'm gonna say, look, I love that you fighting and you stay active, but I'm surprised why you not fighting a guy who maybe southpaw, who maybe got, that maybe mimics what Errol Spence does. He's fighting an undefeated fighter, top fighter over there. He just wants to stay active.
We got another super chat. Calvin Lincoln.
Oh, yeah.
1896. Showing
Come on,
mad
Cal.
love.
Come on, Cal. Come on, bro.
He says, good show. I'm loving the grit of this broadcast.
Cal, my man,
sir.
I appreciate you.
That's what the last stand's about.
I appreciate it. Hey,
what it's about.
I'm going to give you this. How about this? Just because, hey, Cal, I appreciate you, man. And everybody who's watching, again, hit them super chats. We appreciate that. You can also, you see the QR code up there. Hit that QR code, support the show, whatever you want to give. From my understanding, how about this? I heard if Keith Thurman would have won that fight, they were going to put Keith Thurman against Jermell Charlo. That was going to be the next fight. Wow. That was going to be the next fight. That's what I heard. They were going to put Keith Thurman. If he had beaten Fundora, they were going to put Keith Thurman against Jermell Charlo.
I would like to see it either way. It didn't have to be. I would like to see it either way.
Good point, Colin. I still see that.
That is a realistic fight for Jermell, to be honest.
How about this? I'm gonna give you another. I'm gonna give you another nugget. Here's why I love Sebastian Fundora. Sebastian Fundora is like, you put me up against anybody. Yeah. I don't care if it's Boots. I don't care if it's Virgil Ortiz. I don't care if it's Jermell Charlo. And he'll tell you this. I wanted to fight Jermell Charlo a while ago when he had the belts. I'll fight him next. I'll fight anybody. So I had to try to dig deep and find somebody who's in Fundora's inner circle and be like, okay, so what is the plan? Give me the plan. Give me your plan.
It's the map.
You know what they want now. It may, and again, I'm gonna make sure I say this correctly. I'm not saying this is what Sebastian Fundora wants. Sebastian Fundora wants whomever. He don't care. But the people who run his career, they want Errol Spence in Texas.
That's what, it's a Texas affair.
That's what they want to do. They want to do Errol Spence because, again, remember when Charlo made that thing? Well, hey, Errol Spence got in the ring, but blah, blah, blah. They were trying to make that fight a long time ago.
Yeah.
See, that does numbers.
And so they want Errol Spence in Texas. So trust me, the Fundora people are going to be watching this Tszyu fight like because if Tszyu upset the apple cart, whoa. You know what I mean? They'll just they'll have to go different
Move
way.
on,
Go find someone. But that's what they would like. And I'm not saying, again, I'll make sure I say this correct. I'm not saying it's Sebastian Fundora if he was standing here, because he's gonna tell you, he's gonna be like, give me Virgil Ortiz. Y'all say Virgil Ortiz, the guy, bring him on. You say Jaron Ennis, okay, bring him on. He's gonna tell you that. The guys who are running his career and sit there and say, okay, this is who we're gonna try to call and they want Errol Spence in Texas.
Yeah.
Because they
know what?
They know it do numbers, and they will do a lot of numbers, and they will sell out.
So wait a minute. So Errol Spence with Fondora in Texas.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
But not as a comeback fight, or if
no,
after
that's
Tszyu, right?
Yeah, that's what they want. That's what they want. They want Fundora to fight then later this year. They want it to be Errol. They want it to be Errol.
I feel like that's realistic. I mean, the fight was supposed to happen a couple years ago or a year ago.
Yes.
So I feel like you can just pick up where you're left off in the negotiations.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
And not much has changed. I mean, Errol hasn't fought, but other than that, I mean, Fundora is the champ. Fundora can call the shots, and I feel like it doesn't matter where the fight is. It's still a pretty big fight.
Yes. Yes.
So it could be in Vegas. It could be in New York. It could be in Dallas.
I'm looking at. I'm doing some filmmaking up in my mind right now. Yeah, Errol Spence and Tszyu, man. And Tszyu, he went up against the Towering Inferno.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. You know why I mentioned Tszyu that way is because he also had to go through some mental battles.
Yes.
After that Fondora fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And even with the who was the guy that he fought? Bakram, right? Who was the guy that
Murtazalia.
Murtazalia. That was the one that really man, when he got hit, I don't think he ever got hit like that. Never experienced nothing like that.
He even said he was concussed after that.
Yeah,
after that
you could
fight.
tell after the first knockdown, it was.
It's like you're looking around, bro. Like, look, man, I fought at heavyweight in the amateurs, which really quick I had to lose weight because those guys were too big. But let me tell you something, man. When you get hit like that, you go back home, bro. I remember I fought this guy Kerry from Bayonne, PAL, and we went the distance, right? And this guy hit me so hard, and I was taking him, because you got that adrenaline and everything. I never got hit to the point where I got knocked out, but bro, when I tell you, when you get hit like that, solid, after the adrenaline drops, you're looking around like. It's almost like you're on something. You're looking around and everything's like, woo.
Yeah, and them lights a little flashy,
loopy,
huh?
bro, loopy. You feel so loopy, man. And it does, if you are not mentally strong, if you can't get past that, bro, going into a fight, it really impacts you, man. And like you said, Colin, a lot of the stuff is mental, man. And
man.
It's really, really the mental aspect of it.
For sure.
Seeing him come back with an Errol Spence Jr., which also had so much that he had to go through and come back from. That would be a good fight, good test. And Styles.
You're talking about Tszyu, correct? Right?
Yeah, Tszyu, but also, again, Errol's, he's been through so much, man. There's a question mark that needs to be answered there.
Yeah.
And doing it in Texas, bro, that would do numbers, man. I hope they get that across the line.
Well, now listen, I think I'll be honest with you. What you're bringing it up, Alex, is two different things here. So you have to understand, Tszyu and Spence, from my understanding, is going to go down in Australia.
Oh,
It will go down.
I saw
it will
this
go,
week that it was TBD.
Okay, so
I saw it was TBD.
From what I would, they've agreed, but
Mhm.
from my understanding, that it was right now leaning more towards Australia. I think Fundora, Spence, Texas is what they want.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, we got another super chat.
Come on.
The Libra 926
Yes.
says, "Last stand, Blue Blood and Claire Moraine. You guys are boxing."
Yeah, I
glove."
like it.
There you go. Let's go, champ.
I like it. Thank you, my brother. I like it.
Yes,
I
sir.
like it. I like it. I appreciate you. Man. Yeah, man.
I have another take about this Errol Fondora. What do you, if you're Errol,
yeah,
what is your game plan for a Fondora? What would you do to mute the jab, mute the unforeseeable, I don't know, demise maybe of a Fondora fight?
Hey, yo, Colin, he trying to make me answer a calculus question right now.
I'm just saying, it's that type of, to figure out Fondora, it takes a blueprint that we've never seen before, because for him to have that length and to have that skill that we saw this weekend,
bro,
it's something we've never seen before.
Well,
it's going all in.
They're both southpaws, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be facing. It's like facing a mirror of one another. And for Errol, who is athletic, somewhat for the most part. You've got the pop. You gotta have some pop to stun this young boy, especially when you get in there. Now, Errol's a great body puncher too. So, and once he gets in, he gets through that jab, boom, keep that head off the now. And I hear what you're saying. And again, it goes to your one point against Bud. He kept his head on the line. Yeah. Bud was killing him with that jab. Popping him with that jab. And he's got to make sure he keeps that head off the line. And then once he gets in, that's where Errol does damage, because Errol is a vicious body puncher.
For sure.
Hey, Alex, I know that for myself, because he hit me with a motherfucker right here, my sternum.
Oh my goodness.
I tried to I tried to hold it, but
Is there a way we could bring up that video?
We could, but it looks like it looks like the one and only Steven Breadman Edwards is just tapped in. So let's bring him on. Let's bring him on.
Let's go.
Look, just in time, because Lord, I would need Breadman. I would need to train with Breadman for like a few weeks if I ever want to do that again. Look, he's saying he can't hear us. What's it? Can you hear us, Breadman?
Yeah, I don't think
I can't hear y'all that good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
We hear you.
We definitely hear you.
Hold up. Let me
You
see.
got maybe a headphone set or something?
Look at Breadman. Look at Breadman.
I don't have my headphones on.
Okay, so just take the Bluetooth, do the drop down on the iPhone, and then take off the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, so you're straight on cellular.
Let me see something.
He look good.
He's on the move. Breadman's
Say that one more time.
Right now. Yeah, we hear you. So go ahead and take off the Wi-Fi and also your Bluetooth. Take them both off. So when you do the drop-down menu on your iPhone, just take that off so it's not fighting for signal and you're straight on the cellular.
Oh, look at Alex. That's good. See, that's why you got to have Alex with you, man. Alex know how to get you right.
The super producer.
Yeah,
Let's
super producer.
We got the still shot right now.
Yeah, I know exactly. Exactly.
Breadman, if you're having trouble, you could just come right back in too, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's on the move. He's on the move right now.
Now, listen, Breadman is going to be good because we can find out from him what did he think about the work he got with Errol, how he looked, kind of like what's he thinking. And you get we could probably ask him, well, if he was training somebody to fight Fundora, how would you train? What would you tell him? How would you fight this guy? And also, I know there'll probably be a number of people going to have questions too for Breadman. So we'll make sure, send them in, hit that QR code, support the show, and then send in your question for Breadman, and Breadman will answer that too. So we'll get into a lot of that too.
You could tell him too. You could tell Breadman too on the iPhone, on the jack. Let him know that if he wants, he could just get out and come back in. Maybe his His
That's
signal
true.
just got stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breadman. If you want, you can get off the link and then click back on it.
I don't think he hears us. You might have to text him.
Yeah, I think
okay.
he
But yeah,
froze up.
so he could just go in and come back out. I mean, I'll remove him right now,
Yeah.
and then that way he could just come back in. But going back to what you were saying, as far as styles, right?
Yeah.
Colin, like this is the algebra problem right here. Like, how do we get this guy out of there with all those physical advantages that this guy possesses? There's only one thing I could say, bro. There is no boxing this guy. There is no boxing Fondora. You got to make the fight ugly.
Ugly.
You got to, I'm talking about real ugly.
Yes.
To the point where you got Fondora just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to, and look, there's advantages to a smaller fighter. Mike Tyson's a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's veracity is what got these heavyweights that were super much taller than him out of the ring. And that's what they got to do with Fondora. They got to be ferocious. You know, a style that I like for a Fondora, and I'm not saying that I want to see that fight, but who knows, right? Is a Brandon Adams. Excuse me, not a Brandon. El Caballo, the Dominican guy. It's not Brandon Adams. It is, right? Adames.
Oh, Carlos
Adames.
Adames.
Brandon Adams. My bad, Brandon Adams. Nah, I'm talking about Adames.
Yeah.
Adames is herky-jerky kind of style coming up. Boom, boom, boom. You know, that's the kind of style that we need to go ahead and see in there with Fondora.
You just got to you have to get on the inside and bang with him, because if you can get on the inside, that's where things are going to open up. He keeps you at his range, your target practice.
Ask Keith Thurman.
But you get on the inside, all of a sudden now there's some things. Look, that's what happened with Brian Mendoza. Remember when Brian Mendoza caught him with that hook? Caught him with that hook, and then boom, hit him.
Yeah.
It was lights out, because you remember he caught him with that hook, and it was like, yo, Fondora was
Stunned
like
him.
this. He stunned. And then he just
him.
boom, overhand right
over the top.
Just dropped him. So
I feel like the body is the key. And Keith had actually some good body work in the beginning of the fight. And I was like, okay, is that the plan? And it just didn't follow through.
We got my man Breadman
there he
back
is.
on.
What's up, Breadman?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Oh,
great. How are you?
Hold on. Let me do
We're trying to figure out this calculus math problem that
for
Fondora is right now.
For our people, ladies and gentlemen, the world-renowned trainer of boxing, Stephen Breadman Edwards, one of the best. Yes, one of the best. Yo, you got to read his stuff too, man. Breadman be preaching that gospel too. He be having me reading like every week, like, oh, that's good, Breadman. Oh, I like it, Breadman.
What's up, Brian? How you been, buddy?
Man, I'm good. So give us your quick take. What'd you think about Fondora in his performance against Keith Thurman?
I was impressed by Fondora. I picked him to win. I thought he would get the stoppage late. He got it a little bit earlier than I thought he would. But he's really improving, man. It's really good to see a guy improving in real time in this era, because a lot of guys fight so infrequently that you don't get to see them really improve once they get to the top level. You know, boxing is a skill-based sport, and the way you enhance skill is by repetition. So if you don't fight often, then you're not going to really get better. But you can see Fondora. I was there when Fondora got a draw against Jamonte Clark back in 2019. You know, I was there when he fought Tszyu with the cut fight. And he's improved drastically. He fights with a sense of purpose now, where before he was just fighting. Now he understands exactly what he wants to do. And I just thought he would be a tough matchup for Keith. But shout out to Keith, man, because he was trying. You know what I mean? He gave a lot of effort, but Keith's style it will be really, really tough for Keith to ever beat Fondora, even on his best day, because Keith's nickname is One Time, and we kind of look at him as this ferocious destroyer, but he's really a boxer who likes for you to come to him, and he fights off the bounce, and he just happens to have heavy hands, and he can run you in his shots. Well, the problem with that is he's about 5'8" on his tippy toes, and Fondora is 6'5.5" with a monster reach. You're not going to just run him in the shots the way you would guys 5'7" and 5'8", guys like Danny Garcia and Sean Porter. It's a different dynamic. So if he can't go forward in that fight, you know, it's just a tough fight for him.
I like it. Okay, so all right, since we got Breadman here, let's do our fight breakdown here. Talk to me about this fight here as you saw it. And with Keith, one of the things, or one of our poll questions, Breadman, is do we want to see Keith Thurman fighting again? When you watch the fight and you get this fight breakdown, tell us the things that you like about Fondora, and should Keith Thurman be fighting again at 37?
I don't think Keith should have to retire. You know what I mean? I think that Fondora he's an anomaly. You know what I mean? He's a rare guy. Who else is Keith going to fight that's a 6'5", 6'6", southpaw with an 80-something inch reach? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was tough matchmaking on Keith's part. Like on whoever made the match, it's just a tough fight for Keith. The fight was not made for Keith to win. You know what I mean? If you're team Fondora, you kind of know he has a big stylistic edge. But I think there's guys that Keith could fight. Keith could fight Jermell Charlo. He could fight Errol Spence. He could fight a lot of guys. You know what I mean? He could fight Rolly. There's guys he could fight. He just can't beat that guy. As for Fondora, I think he's a heck of a fighter. And I think that, 154 is the hottest division in boxing. And I think they all have to settle it in the ring. But I think that he would be, we were doing seedings like the NCAA tournament. He will be one of the top seeds in the tournament.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I had him at number 1 in my seed because I just thought I think he's the most difficult out of everybody. May not be the best fighter. I'm just saying the most difficult matchup.
I wouldn't disagree with that, Brock, but I do think that there's a couple guys that could beat him, but they're going to have to earn it. They're going to have to earn it in the ring, and it's going to be tough.
Who are the guys you think could beat him?
I think he beats Josh Kelly and Xander. I think they're boxers, and they move away from him, and you got to be extremely athletic to be a boxer and be able to leap in and hit him with a shot and knock him out. Like, you got to be on. We seen what Ray Leonard had to go through with Hearn and what Roy Jones did. Your level of athleticism got to be at that level of athleticism if you're a boxer. But I do think that Virgil Ortiz and him is probably a 50-50 fight because Ortiz knows how to fight going forward. He doesn't have to leap in. He's going to know how to go forward and hit Fondora to the body. And sometimes when you're that tall, if the other guy gets close to you, then now he has the advantage because you can't bring your hands back into place to defend yourself because your hands are so kind of loopy and gangly. You understand what I'm saying, Brock?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when J-Rock fought Hurd, everybody thought he couldn't fight him on the inside, but actually he has the advantage on the inside because Hurd has those big, long arms. So when Hurd throws a punch, we can catch and counter, and Hurd can't bring his hands back in place to defend himself. But the problem is you have to get there. So with Fondora, I think Virgil Ortiz could get there. And I know everybody's going to say because I'm from Philly, but I think Boots would clip Fondora because he's athletic. He's athletic enough to leap in with big shots. He throws really good looping shots. Boots is really, really good on the inside. And Boots has superior stamina. He does not get tired when he fights. So I think that while Fondora is a tough matchup for everybody else, I think Boots is a tough matchup for him. I've seen Boots box bigger guys, and he likes boxing bigger guys because they're a big target for him. And he's a sharpshooter. And for as good as Fondora is, doesn't move his head. You can hit him. You know what I mean? He's kind of a static target.
We've got Stephen Breadman Edwards with us here on The Last Stand. What about your man Boots and Xander Zayas? You see them basically said, I've signed on. Let's get it. Supposedly June 27th, Barclays. What do you think? This is the fight where we want to see Boots in a big fight, and it looks like we finally going to get it. What do you think, Breadman?
If the fight happens, I'm still a little skeptical about the fight happening, but if it happens, props to Xander and his team for making the fight because he's a young guy. And this is and usually a lot of times younger guys don't enter fights as underdogs when they don't have to. So you got to give them props. I'm happy for Boots. He's finally getting a big opportunity. The people here in Philly who've seen him through the years, that we kind of know that he's a special talent, but you still have to go apply that in the ring and do it. You can't just go on potential. So I'm happy for him to get his opportunity so he can showcase everything to his talents to the world. I actually think that Xander stylistically is he may could possibly like go the distance with Boots. I don't know if Boots is going to stop him because Xander moves a lot now. You know what I mean? He uses his legs. He's always, if you watch him fight now, he fights a little different than he did when he was younger. He boxes a lot. And and Boots got a lot of firepower, bro. Like more than the world probably knows. He can really punch. So I think that Xander might get on his bike, and I think I picked Boots to win, but I don't know if he's going to be able to stop him because I think Xander is going to move a lot once he feels that heat.
That's good stuff. What do you got for him, Alex?
Nah, man. Breadman, man, appreciate you coming on the show. First off, man, your insights are phenomenal. Looking back at Fondora, right, and we're talking about Boots. What style, right? What style beats or gives Fondora the problems that need to be made for him to kind of not just overwhelm people with that distance and that reach?
I think it's two styles that can beat Fondora. One is if you're like a bull strong blitzer, like a guy like a Mike Tyson. You get up under him. Tyson, when he was younger, he get up under tall guys and just knock their heads off their shoulders because he was so fast and he could blitz. The second style I think that could beat him is an athletic guy who could jump in and out and close distance really, really fast with big shots. I think that Thurman is athletic, but I don't think he's on the athleticism that Boots has. A guy like what the kind of athleticism I'm talking about is Roy Jones, Boots, Ray Leonard, where they could jump in and out and clip a big guy, a tall guy like that in between shots. Those are pretty much the only two styles that I think that could beat Fondora right now. You know what I mean? Brian Mendoza beat him, and it wasn't luck. He meant to do it, but he was losing every round. They might fight 10 times, and that can only happen at one time. And Fondora has improved since then. You can't play with him. You know what I mean? Like guys sitting back trying to box him, he's going to rip your head off. Yep. And he punches harder than it looks.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's not a one-punch knockout artist, but those punches add up. You see the damage that he's doing to people's faces, getting all of his knuckles into those punches, man. The damage he did to Lubin and the damage he did, man, it lets you know that he has what I call hard fists. Hard hands.
Cut out a little bit. You must have went through a dead zone. Breadman.
he going through an area where
we go. He back.
When Fundora hit you, you sound like that.
Breadman, we lost you for like 5 seconds. It's all good.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought on what you said. You said something about his fist, that he's putting your fist on.
He has hard fists, man. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, Brian, we look at guys and there's different kinds of power. There's that Deontay Wilder where it's like the hard slashing power. And then you got guys that are heavy-handed. And then you got guys like Fondora where they have like hard fists, but they don't knock you out with one punch, but they constantly keep just cracking. Bang, bang, bang. It's like water dropping on concrete and eventually it just cracks it. You know what I mean? Fondora is actually the worst kind of guy you want beating on you because he beats on you all night long. He's not knocking you out with one punch. So that's the kind of guy where you come out of the ring damaged fighting him because it's the prolonged beating where he's not hit. I'd rather get hit with one shot and go out than the guy just beat me up for 12 rounds like that.
That's a great point you bring up there because a number of guys keep saying it's his activity. I didn't think he's as active as he is. And it was like, it's not only you trying to get through these punches, but it's like an array of them. They just come in and you're like, damn, he hit hard. And they keep coming and keep coming. Go ahead, Colin.
I'm going to switch topics. I saw you guys, you and Errol Spence were working out. How was it training Errol or working with Errol? And what did you guys work on in that short time you had together?
It was a pleasure. Me and Earl, as Brian can attest to, like when you on like a circuit with a company where him and J-Rock both signed with PBC around the same time. So you kind of get to see everybody and you form relationships just being in the hotels and the lobby and you just seeing everybody, getting something to eat because we're all fighting on the same venues as we coming up. So I knew Earl for a very long time. And he reached out to me, and we worked together on 3 separate occasions. Out Vegas, he came to Philly twice, and it was a good experience, man. He's the first 2 times he wasn't in the best of shape, but the last time he came out to Philly, he was in real shape, man. He was in the 160s. His body looked good. He's very strong, very determined. He has a unbelievable engine in the gym. Like, he could just work all day long. I could see why he was so successful in his prime, man. He could just work. You know what I mean? It's a different kind of fighter. Everybody is different. So like J-Rock and Caleb are like sharpshooters. They're like boxer punchers. Where Earl is like a pressure technician, where he's really strong. He's not as like sharp as they are, but he could just go all day long. You know what I mean? Like, he could just, his work capacity is something that I like never seen before. Like, he could just work until you just tell him to stop. You know what I mean? And he's a dog. You know what I mean? He sparred a couple. He told me he wanted to spar. The first 2 times I worked out with him, he didn't spar. But the last time he came out here, he told me he wanted to spar. And he's a mean dude. He fit right in the Philly gyms, man. You know what I mean? He's a mean dude, and he very competitive. And he's kind of humble outside the ring, but he'll hurt you. You know what I mean? And the spar partners that he sparred, they wasn't punks. You know what I mean? They was trying to hurt him. And I was impressed. I was impressed with him. Hopefully he can get back to his old form, and he'll be a tough out for anybody.
Supposedly, they're working on, well, they've got a deal in place for him to fight Tszyu. Tszyu's going to fight this weekend. And it's like, from my understanding, talking with people from the PBC right now, it looks like it may go down in Australia, this fight. What would you think about, because now you're going to have 2 pressure guys in Tszyu and Errol Spence. How would you see that matchup going down, Breadman?
If Earl gets back to his old form, I think he'll stop Tszyu Lee. But we got to just see how he's going to look through a whole camp. Brian, it's hard to assess how a guy is going to look after 3 years out of the ring, and he's 36 years old. I trained Earl for 3 small intervals. One time we worked out in Vegas. One time he came to Philly for like 3-4 days, and then he came to Philly again for about 3 or 4 days. So, like, even though he was in better shape the last time, that's still hard to say how he's going to look getting through a whole entire camp, and then getting in the ring after a 3-year layoff. What I can say is, if he keeps progressing from the last time that I saw him and he gets back to his old form, I think he would stop Tszyu Lee. But I can't make a definitive assessment of a fight on a guy that's 36 that hasn't fought in 3 years. It's too hard to tell. We got to see him get through a camp. You know what I mean? Guys get injured in camp. Camp is harder than the fights a lot of time, bro. Right. You know what I mean? Just getting through the camp, dealing with the different sparring partners on the day in and day out, dealing with your strength and conditioning. Your hands have to, be reacclimated to beating on the bag and the pads and stuff. It's a lot more to it than what what casual people understand. You know what I mean? The camp is going to be tough for Earl just to get through a whole entire camp and get ready for a fight like that.
Based off of all of that, when you look back then in your dealings with him, do you think when it came to Crawford that it was just he had been through too much? And I'm talking about from outside the ring, the car crash and all that stuff, and maybe that 147 he was there too long, a fight too long, and it just so happened that fight at that time came at the wrong time for him from a body standpoint, and that's why he looked so lethargic in that fight?
You know what?
Or Bud is just that good.
I don't want to take credit from Crawford because I do think he's special. I don't like to do that. You know what I mean? Because Crawford is older than Earl, and it seemed like that the PBC style put the fight off a little bit. So you can't blame Crawford for the fight being put off when it was more like, Earl had some out of the ring issues going on, and it was a thing where let Earl win all 3 belts over here and then he could fight Crawford. Well, that's what he did. He won all 3 belts and then he fought Crawford, but the fight happened when it happened. So I don't want to take credit from Crawford. Do I think that was like Earl at his best? No, but it's still not Crawford's fault.
Right.
So I got to say that first because I hate, if I train Crawford and I won the biggest fight of my life and I'm 3 years older than the guy and everybody keeps saying he's not the same, I would feel insulting to me because I would be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I can't help when the fight happened. I'm older than he is.
Right.
That being said, I don't think that was the Earl that fought Lamont Peterson or fought Chris Algieri. I think that those was Earl's best two performances. I always thought that Earl didn't rehydrate high. I would look at him fight and I'd say, damn, man, he looks skinny after rehydration. So, he probably, everybody is not up on the science of rehydrating, but he's a big dude in between fights. And you keep making that weight and then you don't put it on the right way, you're not going to look or feel the same. Where Crawford kind of has the science of boxing down. He understands how to rehydrate. He puts the weight on correctly. He got a great team around him, of people that know the sports science. So he could come down from a weight that's high for most people and then put everything back on. So I always looked at Earl and I used to say he looked dull at weigh-ins, especially when he fought Danny Garcia. I was interested in that fight because Danny from Philly. Earl looked skinny after the weigh-in, like when they were, how you do the post weigh-in stuff, like in the dressing room and stuff. I'm like, damn, he looks like he's like 150 something pounds. And fighters don't want to admit this, but 147 pound fighters rehydrate higher than 160 pounds. They'll tell you that they don't, Brian, but they don't. That's not true. So I saw Earl. I'm like, damn, he looks like he's in the 150s. I even asked him that before, and I'm not going to say what he said because I don't want to give up any competitive advantages or disadvantages, but I just don't think he was rehydrating on the science side of boxing. But I think he has that part covered. I don't want to say like he was so off in the fight because he looked good against Ugas. So that's the part that is kind of weird to me because he didn't look that great in a couple of fights before Ugas, but against Ugas, he kind of looked like the Earl of old.
Right.
So I don't want to discredit Crawford, but if I'm being totally honest, I don't think that was the best version of Errol Spence that fought Crawford, but I don't think that's Crawford's fault.
What happened? As a guy we saw having the fight up in Vegas is Caleb Plant was there, and Caleb's not. You're not working with Caleb anymore. What happened there? What? I know he took the loss to Rescindes. What happened there? Why Caleb Plant? You guys aren't working together anymore.
It was just a tough camp, man. It was really a tough camp, bro. And I got a lot of love for Caleb. I really do. And sometimes when people's opinions get involved in things. On the outside, it could kind of damage your relationship on the inside. And me and Caleb, we had 3 great camps together, and I thought I was bringing out the best of them.
Yeah.
With Darrell, have we ever seen Caleb score a one-punch knockout late in the fight?
Knockout of the year.
You know what I mean? That's probably knockout of the decade, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then with Benavidez is a unbelievably tough style matchup for Caleb because Caleb's flaws are Benavidez's strengths. You feel what I'm saying with that, Brian? So Benavidez is a great inside fighter, and his motor gets better as the fight goes on.
Yep.
Caleb is an excellent outside fighter who has to expend so much energy bouncing in and out in the second half of the fight. It's not that he's not in shape. It's just that he can't really fight a relaxed fight and be successful against Benavidez. So he's going to fade in that fight. So you probably don't think I'm like BSing you when I say this, but that was one of my proudest moments as a coach because to get him to go the distance and be that competitive with Benavidez. Because I think Benavidez is a generational talent. Yep. I think he's good enough to win the cruiserweight championship of the world. I think he's going to beat Zerto. And when I first started training Caleb, the plan wasn't to go from Darrell to Benavidez. It was to get a couple of fights in between to build up to Benavidez. But the knockout of Darrell was so spectacular, I guess they thought like, okay, we got to strike the iron while it's hot. So they made the Benavidez fight right after that. And that's an extremely tough fight to win for Caleb. But Caleb fought his ass off. I was so proud of him that night. I almost stopped that fight. You know what I mean? But he trained so hard and he showed me so much determination and so much heart and I saw that Benavidez got a little bit tired, and I let the fight go on. And Caleb had a case for possibly winning 6 rounds. I'm not saying Benavidez didn't win the fight, but if you look at the fight really good, Caleb might have stole the last round. And I think he gave Benavidez his toughest fight, and he earned Benavidez respect by standing up to him. Earned his respect. Like, you know what? You can fight, bro. Like, so sometimes the big bad wolf, you got to fight him to earn his respect, and he did it. And I'm saying that to say we had a great camp with Benavidez camp. It was a hard camp, but it was a great camp, and it gave Caleb an insight on what you need at the top level. And then for the McCombie camp, you know, when have we ever seen Caleb get hurt early and then walk a guy down late inside fighting? So we brought something out of him in the McCombie camp. So the Resendez camp was just totally different. You know, I couldn't do what we did to other camps, and I'm not like blaming anybody, or it's just the reality of what happened. And I wasn't able to do the things that I was able to do in the other camp, and it showed on the fight. And throughout camp, I tried to respectfully. It's hard to make a guy who's 30-something years old that you start training later in his career do something. You can ask him, you can respectfully tell him, but to make him is different. My guys at home, I could tell them, yo, this is what we need to do. A guy like Caleb, where he's at in his career, I got to suggest it. I have to tell him, look, I don't think this is the right way. We need to go a little bit. It's a little bit different, you know, and people, they blame the trainers and things like that. But all I could do is tell you what I think. It's up to you to be disciplined within yourself and listen to me, or you don't listen to me. So just that camp alone, it just took a lot out of us. And I just thought it would be best if I removed myself from training with him, because I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do in camp. And I'm not going to say that I thought he would lose, because I thought Caleb would beat Resendez. But I was very, very leery of the fight, because Manny Robles is a great underdog trainer. And what I mean by that is it's not easy, but it's one thing to be a trainer and your guy is so head and shoulders above the other guys that his natural ability is going to allow him to win the fight. But it's something different where your guy is being fed, and you could bring out his self-esteem in a way where you march him into battle where everybody else think he's going to get killed, and he's looking like, I'm going to win this fight. And I know a good underdog, coach, because I got to be the underdog a lot of times.
That sounds like Julian and Hurd.
How about this, Brian? How about this, Julian and Gallimore? How about Karan versus Darrell? How about Karan versus Elijah Garcia? So I'm used to being the underdog coach. And I know Manny Robles is a good underdog coach, because look what he did with Ruiz and Joshua. They thought he was going to get killed. And Manny Robles, his guys come to fight. And he brings that out of him. And that's something that I kept like saying in camp, like, yo, man, Manny Robles is a good underdog coach. This kid gonna fight, you know. And trust me, I'm not blaming Caleb for anything. Sometimes you just don't have it in camp. Sometimes you just don't have that push to get you where you need to go. But without going into like definitive details, we just had a poor camp. We just did, like, all around. It was not the same, not even close to the camps that we had, the three camps that we had prior. And it was frustrating for me, because I felt like I had the formula to bring the best out of them, because it was proof in the pudding. I had brought the best out of them in the first 3 camps. And it was like the Resendez camp was about 60% of the other 3 camps, literally, not figuratively, literally. And people was like, well, Brad must have overtrained him. Bullshit. It wasn't even close to the same amount of work that we did the other camps. And Caleb will tell you that. I know he will. I know he'll be honest. And it wasn't even close to the same amount of work. And I just had to just eat that. And, you know, and everybody had their opinions and stuff. And I just had to just sit back and just eat, Brian. A lot of people saying stuff about me that just wasn't true. Imagine being a trainer and you leave your family for 8 weeks. I live in Philadelphia. I'm sleeping in an Airbnb, and you can't train the way you want to train. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. I'm a professional trainer, and when you lose a fight that you're supposed to win like that, your stock goes down. You're not going to get the same jobs. The pay changes. Everything changes. So people kind of like got this thing. Well, you know, the fighter's the one in the ring taking punches. Well, they are. But guess what? Your trainer, you lose your value when you lose a fight like that you're supposed to win because it's looked at. Everybody always blames the head trainer when the guy loses.
Yep.
So I gotta eat. Oh, we was overtrained. Why didn't he do this and why didn't he do that? And I gotta just sit there the whole time and eat all of the criticism. I had guys come to me that wanted me to train them, and then after the Caleb Plant performance, I never got a call from them again. And I'm okay with that because I don't want to train anybody that don't want me to train them. But that's how boxing works.
Yeah.
So as a trainer, you know, nobody has any kind of empathy for the trainer. You have the toughest job in the world. You have no job security. Guys don't want to pay you the going rate, which should be 10%, but nobody wants to pay that these days, especially if you didn't start the guy out from the ground up. And then you got to take all of the criticism when they lose. And I take the responsibility, but all I could do is tell a guy, yo, man, we gotta let's go where we went before. But if they don't have it, they don't have it. And again, maybe Caleb just didn't have it to put out in this camp. I don't know what's on it. You know, I'm not a sports scientist. I just know that we didn't do in this camp what we did in other camps, and it showed up in the fight. And that's what I was like leery of throughout the fight. And I spoke on it a couple times, and then at a certain point, it's going to be what it's going to be at a certain point. Brian, I'm already out there. I'm already training them. So I just say, okay, well, hopefully we could just get through this fight, and maybe the next camp will be a little bit better. Every camp's not going to be perfect, but it was just a poor camp. And a fighter with Caleb's style, in my opinion, does not age well. Where a guy like Lara fights such a relaxed style, and it's mental and physical. It's not just physical. Lara is such a carefree guy, and he keeps it so simple. His style can age well. That's why he could fight in his 40s. Caleb is a guy who relies on fast feet, going in and out. He's a fast twitch fighter. His style won't age well. He can't just sit in the pocket like James Toney and fight till he's 41, 42, 43 years old. He doesn't have the personality of a Bernard Hopkins who can fight that long. And this is stuff that I told Caleb. And I'm saying this for a reason. He has to train at a higher and a faster pace because he doesn't have a super relaxed, carefree kind of style where he could just sit in the pocket, throw 1 or 2 punches per combination, throw 30 punches around and win the fight at the top level. That's not his style. So his style's not going to age well. And I think that's the issue with Caleb right now, where he may have to train at a certain rate, but it may not be productive for him to train like, you know, where he thinks he needs to train, because I think he has to train at a faster tempo and a faster pace to get what he needs out of his style and win fights at the top level. Because the Benavidez fight, bro, we trained our ass off. I knew that Caleb would struggle down the stretch, and I knew he had to have the mental and the physical toughness to finish to the finish line, and he allowed me to. I've never been more proud of a fighter and how hard he trained in that camp. But I just don't think he was able to get back to that for the Resendez fight, and unfortunately, we took a bad L, man, and it's tough to come back from when a fighter loses a fight like that, a fight is supposed to win. You know, Benavidez loss is one thing. You know, that's a great fighter, but Resendez, in my heart, I know Caleb should have been able to beat Resendez. And it would have been tough for me to come back to camp under those circumstances. So, you know, I respectfully just told him I'm not going to be able to do this no more. You know what I mean? But I got a lot of love for Caleb and his family. I'm not like mad or bitter or anything like that. It was just a tough camp. And at a certain point, even as the trainer, you got to just be like, all right, man, you know what I mean? It's no more I can do. You know, I felt a little bit helpless during that camp, to be honest with you. And I just felt it was it.
Stephen Breadman Edwards with us. By the way, OTB Boxing School sent us a little something, man. He said, man, this was amazing. Thanks. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for supporting and listening to us, man. Thank you very much. Listen, we got Breadman here. You guys may have a question for him. Hit that QR code, man. Send a little something. You can ask your question. I know Alex and Colin's got more questions for you. I'll just ask you this one last one, Breadman. He
still got time. I'm not home yet. I've still got time.
Good. Caleb was in Vegas here. He was talking about, I want Jermell Charlo. That's the fight we working on. And they said, Charlo was supposed to be on the undercard of Benavidez, but because he wasn't training as frequently as they wanted him to, that's why they pulled him out and they put Munguia in. And so now they want to bring him back this summer. So what would you think about Caleb and Charlo finally getting it on? It'd be the smack gate fight. How do you see that fight sizing up?
I think stylistically, both guys present problems for the other one. I think that although Jermell fought at a smaller weight, I think that he's the more physical fighter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think he's a little more physical than Caleb. And although Caleb has always been a super middleweight, so people might think he's narrower than Jermell, I think he does have a speed advantage of hand and foot. I think that that is best form to beat Jermell though, because Jermell has if you notice, Jermell got a really good chin. Mm-hmm. Jermell rarely takes a step back, rarely goes down. He has a really good chin. Caleb's reach is 74 inches, right? On paper, but he has a wide back. He don't have long arms. He has short arms. So boxing is so prehistoric. We do reach from fingertip to fingertip, but we should do reach from armpit to fist, because that's how you hit a person. So if you got a wide back and you got long fingers, your reach will look more accentuated than what it really is. So Caleb, one of the reasons why his feet are so important to him is because he don't really have long arms to be a super middleweight. Look at his body, Brian, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. So I think that Jermell's jab, he has a rhythm breaking jab. Mm-hmm. Caleb would have to be in A+ form to win the fight. It's a very winnable fight for him because he has a speed advantage and Jermell can be outboxed. The problem would be is if Caleb's feet and his conditioning is in place where he could get in and out on Jermell, because Jermell got that hard ramrod jab, and he's very determined. He don't stop trying to fight. You know what I mean? Against Matt Karabarov, Jermell was getting outboxed, and he kept pushing. Against Julian Williams, Jermell was getting lit up with 1-2s, and he made an adjustment and caught Julian with a big uppercut. Mm-hmm. Against Austin Trout, I seen Jermell get headbutted. I was there at that fight, and he got a nasty headbutt, and I know it hurt, and he kept fighting. He's a very determined guy. He don't stop fighting. And in the middle rounds, Caleb would have to really bite down on his mouthpiece, and he would have to have the kind of camp that he had with Benavidez to deal with Jermell's determination coming down the stretch. So I can't give you a winner because both guys are a little older and inactive. But I will say that Caleb has less room for error as far as his camp. He got to be in shape to deal with a big, strong, determined dude that's coming downhill on him in the second half of the fight. And one more thing. The reason why, I get on my guys about every fighter is because when you lose a fight like that to Resendez, what's going to happen is now Jermell is going to be more confident in fighting Caleb. He's going to look at him differently. He's going to look at him and say, you know what? I would smoke Resendez. I'm going to smoke Caleb. He's going to be dealing with a more confident fighter now. That's why every performance, every time you get in the ring, every time people lay eyes on you, it's really important for you to be consistent. Because the true measure of greatness is how consistent you are from fight to fight. Because now you give your opponents all of this ammunition and all of this confidence moving forward. So it was guys before that be like, well, Caleb only lost to Canelo and Benavidez. They're generational talents. They're Hall of Famers. They're great fighters. But now you lose to Resendez. It's like, wait a minute now. So now he's going to be dealing with a super confident Jermell. So we got to just see if Caleb could tie up his shoestrings, put his bootstraps on, keep his head down, and train and have a really, really, really great camp. There's a good chance he can outbox Jermell and be a little bit too fast. Caleb's feet are unbelievably fast, but he would have to be in that form. He would have to be in the shape he was in for Benavidez and Darrell and McCumbee to pull this fight off. Anything less than that is going to be a tough fight for him.
Breadman, Stephen Edwards here with us again. Hit that QR code, man. Support the show. You can submit your questions. Hey, I know my son Colin's got a question for you, but before we get to it, I want to play something for you, Breadman, because it went viral over the weekend, and because we got a world-renowned trainer like yourself, I want to know: have you ever done the Roy Jones Jr. to a fighter in the fight? Because, you know, Breadman be in there and be like, look, I'm proud of you, man, but you got to do this. You got to do that. Breadman be hitting you with the positives, but have you ever done the Roy Jones talk with one of your fighters in a fight? Take a listen here. Give me your reaction to what you saw this during this weekend. Go ahead.
Come on. Roy Jones Jr. went fucking scared. He's bitching you out. All right? He's bitching you out. Okay? He's bitching you out. Okay? Go either fight the motherfucker or don't fight. You're going to fight or fucking quit. All right? He's bitching you out right now. Okay? Fight or fucking quit boxing. All right? They ain't going to say it no fucking more. Roy Jones Jr. went from
That was it. That was all he said. Hey, and I give him props because Kevin Newman ended up winning that fight against Elijah Garcia. But have you ever had to do that to a fighter?
First off, I want to say this. There's a lot of people that criticize Roy Jones as a trainer. I've always thought Roy Jones was an excellent trainer. I think he's a good trainer. He just has to get the right guy. You can't help who comes through your door. You only can work with the talent that you have. But I think Roy really knows the game, and he can help some guys if they're willing to, you know, be a little bit flexible with their style and understand it. Because Roy is unconventional with a lot of things, but he knows what he's doing. To answer you directly, I don't know if I've had to go that far, but I have had to curse at guys. I've had to curse at guys. It's been a couple of – Julian used to talk in the corner, and there's times I would have to tell him to shut the F up and stop talking. Stop, just listen. He's probably the most hard-headed fighter that I've had, where I've had to, like, go there. But in the gym, I've had to cuss guys out a lot, man. In the gym, I've had to cuss guys out a lot. But let me tell you something about Roy. Let me tell you why I respect what he did so much. Because when you yell at a 33-year-old man in this day and age, a lot of times you lose your job after that.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid to lose his job because he was right. Kevin Newman was sleepwalking during parts of the fight. Yep. And a lot of times the fighter don't want to take accountability over that, and they don't want a guy to yell at him and say certain things, and you can't talk to him but a certain kind of way, and you're not my dad, and you hear all of this stuff. And Roy didn't care. He was willing to lose his job and take criticism. And he told the guy, "You're letting him bitch you out." Bro, that was such man, I don't even know Roy Jones, man. And I'm just like, if that brother's listening to this, man, I give you your props, man. That was awesome that he had the wherewithal and the integrity to tell this man, you know, that in such a harsh way, man, because if a lot of times you talk to a fighter like that, he gonna fire you.
Yeah.
I'm keeping it real, Brian. They'll fire you and won't pay you.
Yes.
So I give him major props for not being afraid to get fired, not being afraid to get paid and not get paid. And how about this? He doesn't know what the outcome is going to be. Everything is cool now that he won, but Kevin Newman could have lost that fight. It was a close fight.
Yep.
So, yes, I've had to holler at guys and curse at them. I don't know if I've had to go that far with it, though. Like, he really went there. But I've had to cuss a few guys out in the gym. I've had guys that say things in the gym that piss me off, and I've had to cuss them out. And, you know, I didn't lose my job, but you got to yell at fighters sometimes. Sometimes the things that make fighters good is the things that also get on your nerves, and they could be a little stubborn and hard-headed. But I'm glad Roy did that because Kevin Newman needed that win. He's a guy that has a lot of talent that never really broke through, and he needed that, and Roy got that out of him. So I respect both of them for pulling through in that fight. I'm sure Kevin Newman looked at a lot of video of what Teron Davis did to Elijah Garcia because everybody just rinse and repeat the game plan. honestly, Terrell Garcia beat him. If I'm gonna keep it real, they robbed Terrell when he fought Elijah Garcia. They robbed him, man. He won that fight.
He
did. So I was happy for Kevin Newman.
Yes, I'm with you. Go ahead, Colin.
I'm gonna change topics. When you watch a fight, what do you think most fans miss compared to what a fighter or what a trainer would see rather than a fan's perspective?
You kind of got to give me something specific because there's a lot of things that the fans miss. You got to like
when people give up their scorecards, they're like, "Oh, I do this because," or I'd say he won this round because of activity. But some would say, "Oh, but he missed a lot, but he threw more." You know, what do you look at when you see, if you're judging a fight or see a fighter and like, "Oh, I like that," or you see a counter puncher, he's not throwing as much. Oh, that's boring. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see what you're saying now. There's a lot of things. One thing I see that the fans miss is they can't really see when a guy is getting hit with punches that he's hurt with if he's not like visibly wobbling and shaking all over the place. A lot of times fighters are hurt, but they train to keep a poker face so the fans don't pick up on it. And if you got a trained eye, you could look and see when a guy is hurt a lot earlier than what the average fan could pick up on. I'll give you a good example. Fondora hit Keith Thurman with a little body shot up underneath that the announcers even missed, but I could tell he hurt him. Way before they stopped the fight. He hit him with a little left hand right underneath, way before they stopped the fight. And I was like, damn, he's hurt. So a lot of times you could tell that. A lot of times fans, you know, they repeat this ridiculous thing. Well, you got to keep coming forward to take the championship from the champion. That's BS, because then if that was the case, then no boxer could ever win a world title. I look for what fighter is being the most effective, whether he's coming forward or backwards. I look for what fighter is landing the cleaner punches, not who's throwing the most punches, but who's landing the cleaner punches. There's a big difference in who's landing the cleaner punches and who's throwing the most punches. So it's like small little nuances. I could talk all day about that, but I'll see guys scoring fights and I'll be like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. The other guy is winning. You know what I mean? And they don't really get it. Body language is another important thing. Fighters that show fatigue, they get rounds taken from them, even if they're not losing the rounds. When you're fatigued, you have to find a way to not show it under no circumstance. You have to breathe through your nose and keep a poker face at all times, because judges score body language. They score blood. They score when you look disorganized. So that's why, you know, Floyd Mayweather, if you look at his fights, it's hard. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's very hard to win 7 rounds against Floyd, even though most of his fights go to distance. You know why? Because Floyd's body language is always sharp. His sense of awareness is always sharp. He never shows distress. He never shows that he's tired. He rarely shows that he's hurt. He got hurt against Shane Mosley, but that's something you can't help. He got wobbled, but he's not like walking around leaking oil. He doesn't have that look on his everything. He looks the same way in the last round as he does the first round. And fighters should take note of that. That's why it's really hard to win a decision against him, because his body language never changes. Look at Terrence Crawford, the same exact way. Crawford he might stick his tongue out, but he keeps the same look on his face every single round. He comes out super sharp, super aware. And even when he gets hit with a big shot, he doesn't make a big deal out of it. You know what I mean? It's just a shot. Just move on to the next moment of the fight. So those are little things that fans probably appreciate, but they don't even know that they're seeing it in you know, the greater fighters of the era.
Gotcha.
What you got for him, Alex?
Nah, well, you know, going back to Xander Zayas versus Jaron Boots Ennis, man, I'm really interested in that fight. What do you think Xander Zayas might be lacking going into that fight? You know, he's always getting slack for him being a little bit inexperienced, the newer champion. What do you see in Xander Zayas that you might say, hey, he might not be ready for that, Boots, or maybe you think he is?
Well, I'm picking Boots to win the fight, but I don't like to say if a guy is ready or not because they're a little young. And here's why. Because he may not be able to beat Boots when he's 27 or 28. At no time in his career, he may not be able to beat him. So just because he's 23, I don't want to use that as an excuse for him not being able to win. I just think that Boots is the better fighter at this moment. But I do like Xander, and I think he's improving. He has good legs. He has a good sense of what he wants to do in the ring. He has good size on him. He's a good all-around fighter. I just think that Boots is more dynamic. He's more talented. He's faster. He's stronger. His reflexes are a little bit better. And I think that I don't think Xander is that big of a puncher. You know, I watch his fights really, really close. He rarely scores knockouts these days. He's kind of morphed into a boxer when he got to the top level. And I don't know if he has enough to hold Boots off of him. You know, all punches hurt, but Boots is also a mean dude. He just don't act mean. But in a boxing ring, he's a mean dude. He wants to hurt you. And he has a good chin. And I don't know if Xander has enough to keep him off of him. And if he does try to keep him off of him, I think that's the issue in the fight. Because if he tries to settle down and punch with Boots, I think he gets stopped. If he moves the whole night, he runs a chance of running out of gas. He might not get stopped, but I don't think he can win the fight like that. You guys remember Hector Camacho?
Oh, yeah.
Hector Camacho was a great fighter, right? But when he got outgunned in fights, he would just box and move and just accept the fact that he was going to lose a decision. So if you watch his fights with Camacho, with Felix Trinidad, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Oscar De La Hoya, they kind of all went the same way. When he figured out that he couldn't win, he kind of just boxed because he knew if he settled down and tried to punch and really go for it, that he wouldn't win. So I think that that's Xander's issue. This fight. Do you settle down and go for it, or do you just try to box? I think if he boxes, he possibly could go to the distance, possibly. But I think if he settles down, and I know they say Xander's big, but I don't think Xander is as strong as Boots, and I don't think he's the puncher Boots is. I think if he settles down, he gets knocked out. So I think that that's the dilemma for him in this fight, personally. But that's why fights got to get made, because we don't know what's going to happen. We could just speculate. And I think that Xander deserves major props for being proactive in making this fight, because we're in the era that this kind of fight doesn't happen this early. Guys avoid the fight. They try to take the businessman route, and I really respect him for going after Boots, because, as you know, Brian, I've always been high on him. Boots is different, man. You know, he's a special dude, and he can really hurt you. So I respect Xander for going after this fight, but I do think Boots is going to win the fight, whether it's a knockout or a decision. I just think he got a little bit too much for Xander.
What do you think about Moses Itauma, man? That heavyweight, that knockout when he did to Jermaine Franklin. I mean, Franklin's a dude who went the distance with Anthony Joshua. He went the distance with Dillian White. And man, and I know he's 21, but I like that kid, man. I think that kid is going to tear the heavyweight division up. What do you think about Moses?
I think he's the real deal, bro. I think he's the real deal. And I don't keep throwing age out there, because in the eras that I came up on, guys was great fighters in their 20s. We would know if there was a Hall of Famer by the time they was 25, 26, 27 years old. Look at Oscar and Tito and Tyson and Floyd. Floyd won the title at 21. Manny won the title at 20. Only in this era, you got to wait till you're 30 to fight. I don't believe in that. So I think Moses and Itauma, people can call me crazy all they want. I think Moses and Itauma will be competitive with Usyk right now. Wow. I think right now he will be competitive with Usyk. Usyk has a serious advantage over these heavyweights with stamina and his agility to get in and out and get around them. And then he carries his stamina late. So his strength lies in his stamina. He stays strong the whole fight. Well, Moses and Itauma is super quick-handed. He's super dynamic with his punches. He's not plodding. If he has superior stamina and he can develop, being able to go 12 sharp, hard rounds, he's right with Usyk, because he's actually the more dynamic puncher in between out of them. He has a bigger punch variety than Usyk does. He is a very tough fight for Usyk. And although Itauma's a little bit bigger, I've always suspected this, Brian, that Usyk fights bigger guys better than he fights smaller guys. Think that he feasts on bigger guys because they're a little bit easier to hit, they're bigger targets, and they don't have the reflexes that you would need to beat a guy like him. But his toughest fight was against a guy named Maris Bradis. And the reason why that was a tough fight, because it was at cruiserweight, and that guy was small enough to get the different spots and throw him off, where the bigger heavyweights, they just don't have the stamina to do it. Moses Itauma, he's a big guy, but he's super sharp and quick and fast. He doesn't fight plodding like a big guy. I think he is a very tough matchup for Usyk right now. I don't think he has to wait 5 years and all that kind of stuff. Right now, today, I think he would give Usyk hell. And one more thing. Everybody keeps saying, well, he's just 21. Usyk has all this experience and stuff. And he is young enough to be Usyk's son. But guess what, though, Brian? Usyk also didn't take twice the punishment that he has. He has twice the wear and tear on his tires. With all of the amateur fights, all of the tough fights, Usyk is 38. So, yeah, he might be old enough to be that guy's dad, but Itauma has way less wear and tear. Your reaction time is a little bit different when you haven't been taking the punches. He only has 14 fights. He doesn't have an extensive amateur career. He's very fresh. But Usyk has a ton of amateur fights, world level competition, Olympics, and only has 24 pro fights, but they've been hard, tough, top level pro fights. I do not think that Usyk washes this kid. You could beat him most likely because Usyk is special. He's a great fighter. But this is not an easy fight for Usyk right now. And I don't want to hear no stuff about, well, I don't want to hurt the kid because I heard Usyk say he's too young. I don't want to hurt him. Bro, this is boxing. He wants to hurt you.
Right.
You can't tell me you don't want to hurt a guy that wants to hurt you. He's not your son. You know what I mean? He's not. I don't get that line of thinking. Only in this era have I ever heard a guy say, I don't want to hurt the guy that wants to fight him. Could you imagine Larry Holmes getting away with being able to say, I don't want to fight Mike Tyson because I might hurt him. He's too young.
Yeah.
We can't. We not. Can we say that in boxing? Am I wrong for that, Brian? I don't understand that, though.
I'm with you, man. I'm absolutely with you. And this is why I wanted to have you on. And you know what? And I'm going to tell you this, Errol. I had a conversation. This was maybe about, I want to say, a month ago. But that was when he had told me he had came to train with you for a few times. And he said, man, I love talking boxing with Breadman. He said his knowledge of the sport, I love it, man. He's I just soak it up. So, I mean, you already know you're one of my favorites anyway. And that was the main reason why I wanted to have you on here. And because I wanted everybody else to hear you. And listen, by the way, because we got you on, let people know when they can read your mailbag, where could give them your IG and give them your Twitter so people can get in touch with you.
All right. Well, first, I don't want to make the implication that I'm training Earl, because I'm not going to be training him.
No, I know. I'm just saying. He just loved your knowledge. That's what he said.
No, that's my guy. I just sometimes people just get things wrong, so I'm not going to be training them. People start hitting my inbox thinking that I'm training them, and that's not true. We just worked out together. But my mailbag comes out on Boxing Scene every Saturday morning at 10:30 Eastern time. Yep. I also do some part of their podcast, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, which is from 1 to 4. Like today, I'm gonna be on there today at 1 Eastern time. And my Twitter, I only talk about boxing on Twitter, so it's Breadman Boxing on Twitter. So those are my 2 ways to get to me.
By the way, he's got a son, daughter, phenomenal athlete. I mean, she can go. I'm talking about track. She is amazing. So you look, Breadman is he's special in all kinds of areas. Everything. He talks about everything. Hey, next hour we got Regis Prograis on as a guest. What do you think about Regis Prograis and Conor being that fight?
I'm hoping Regis Prograis can win, man. I like Regis Prograis as a fighter. I really thought that he was really, really, like a few years ago, around the Josh Taylor time or a little bit before that, I thought he was really, really good, Ryan. I was like, man, this guy, I don't know what happened with Regis, though, man. I don't know what happened. Sometimes these fighters, I don't know, man. He had like this little improvisational style where he could just impromptu and just like move his shoulders and slide up on you and hit you with these short little compact punches and really do damage to you. And then it's just like, man, I don't know what happened. He used to be one of my favorite guys, man. And even the Josh Taylor fight, that could have went either way.
Either way, yep.
You could ask him, maybe it was an injury, maybe it was weight. But I like Regis. I think he's a really good fighter, but I don't know if he could deal with Conor Benn now because Conor Benn seems fresher. Conor Benn seems on the up, going up, and Regis seemed to be going down. So the science of matchmaking is you get a guy with a big name that's going down a little bit against the other guy that's going up a little bit. So I think the deck is stacked against Regis a little bit, but I hope he pulls it out, man. I really do. I hope he could, get back to his old form. Sometimes fighters just lose their way and they kind of lose what got them to a certain point. But, Conor's a little bigger than Regis. Regis is a 40-pounder. So I don't know what weight the fight will be at. I'm pulling for Regis. I hope Regis could pull it off, but I'm not going to say I'll pick him because I want him to win because he's just been such a performance slump lately. I don't like against Devin, he couldn't move.
Yeah, it was like, bro, what happened, Regis? What are you doing?
Yeah, it was like, right. It was like when you like a fighter and you look at him, I start saying like, damn, did something happen outside the ring? Was it a bad weight cut? I really don't. Sometimes it's wear and tear because I know Regis is about 36 or 37. So sometimes it just could be, if you're a clean fighter and you're not on, PEDs, sometimes you just start genetically just slipping after all of the hard camps. So sometimes it's a simple explanation. But I was just shocked at his performances. He fought Jack Catterall too, right?
Yeah.
He just looks slow now. He can't get off no more. And Regis is another guy that has short little arms, right? So guys with short arms, you got to be super slick, or your feet got to be super fast to be able to close the distance because he got short little alligator arms, and he's like a mid-range and inside fighter. So Conor probably is going to be a little bit too big and fast for him right now, but I'm hoping Regis could pull it out. That's me being honest about it.
What do you think about the $15 million in Zuffa boxing?
It's a lot of money, bro. That's a lot of money for a guy that never won a world title.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money for and this is no disrespect to Conor Benn. He's a solid fighter, but he's not exceptional. You know what I'm saying? He's not a pound for pound guy. He's not the best fighter in the UK. He's not that. To get 15 million, man, but he sells fights good. He looks the part. He has a lot of charisma, and it worked out for him. As far as Zuffa boxing, I want to see things play out with them. I don't like to judge anything early in boxing because you let's just see how they move their fighters. Let's get the fighter feedback. Let's see what happens when one of their guys loses. Let's just see more stuff. It's too early for me to tell right now what's going on. I do think that they got to sign some better talent though. Jai Albertaya, I would say, is probably the best guy on their roster, and he can go. He's a really good fighter. But I would like to see them get some more elite level, A level kind of fighters. You know what I mean? Because I think some of the young guys they got, they're okay. Like Callum Walsh, he's all right, but I don't look at him as a threat to any of these guys at 54 or 60 right this second. So I want to see some more. I want to see like how deep their talent pool gets as far as, I'm not talking about money, spending money. I'm talking about what kind of talent they could pull over there where they have legitimate A-level fighters. Like right now, Jai Albertaya, I think he's the best fighter on their roster, unless they, sign some other guys that I don't know about. But he's the number one guy on their roster right now. So I want to see them get some more guys like him and see how they match up before I judge them.
Hey, Alex, I want to, before we get Breadman out of here, I want to get his reaction on something. We're talking about 154, right?
Yeah.
And all of the best fighters, this and that. And a guy who came to the fight and he had a little standoff with the press because he said, y'all forgot about me. I'm the guy at 154. And I want you to listen to what Jermell Charlo had to say after the fight and his take on 154. Go ahead, play it for him, Alex, so Breadman can hear what Charlo had to say.
Let's bring it back. Give me 1 second. Yeah, he had a lot to say, man.
Since we were talking about 154, and his thoughts on Fundora-Thurman and who he should be fighting in this division.
All right, let's bring it on.
Here we go.
Zayas.
He ain't worth shit. I knock him out, but he everything that they want. I'm not gonna mention the little fish and the little lion and the big dog. I don't know what else to do in boxing right now. I've been waiting, trying. I don't know what else.
Jermell, you were the man of this division, but each of your titles went vacant, man. What do you say to people?
I think I should send up some lawsuits like Davis did, and get my belts back because like I didn't get it. They took my belts over.
You gotta defend them to not get stripped.
Why y'all take my belts then?
Because you gotta defend them to not get stripped, Jermell.
I get that, but I defended. When I fought in 2023, I was stripped of my WBO title before I even fought. So I didn't get my.
But one way or another, if you don't defend them for 4 years, they're gonna get taken off you. You know.
I get that, but they didn't even give me a chance. 4 years, motherfucker. I ain't been out the ring 4 years. Since June 54. I've been out the ring since 2023, and I've been asking every day to come back. But we ain't gonna tell him that. We ain't gonna tell him that. I hate him. But we here. What y'all talking about? We've been here a long time ago. Y'all was giving everybody else fights. Only issue with Errol is he got in the ring for Fondora. You can't handle that. You can't handle that. You can't beat Fondora. I just watched him. He can't beat Fondora. I just watched him. Now, if he think he can beat Fondora, fight me first.
Who's this you're saying? That fight
Errol.
You guys talking about Keith still or
Get
something?
on my face, dude. Ask somebody. Everybody can beat me. Who can beat me?
Oh my gosh.
If you had a choice right now, who would you put? Like, who would be like, I beat that guy right now, put him in the ring with me?
That bitch that just fought Fondora, what the fuck you talking about? I fight Fondora, he just got the belt. That's my belt. Nobody took my title. Nobody. I lost my titles because I fought Canelo. Duh. Get the money, dummies. Get the money, dummies.
How the politics look now for
Get me
you?
out here. Get me out here. Get me out here. I'm gonna say this out. Baby, that's all I got.
No, keep going. Let it keep going, because I want him to hear the end of it. I want to hear the end of it.
Get me out of here. No, I love you.
Say what's up. That's it.
The fuck Fondora, fuck Keith Thurman, I couldn't do. I should have. I ain't worried about none of them. Fuck Errol Spence, fuck Zayas, and fuck Boots, fuck all y'all 154. Ortiz, and then I run Texas, dummy. I run Texas, dummy.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, to give you some clarity, what he was talking about, I should be like Davis and get me, because he says Tank got PBC lawyers to sue to get his belt reinstated back to him. So he said I should be like Davis to get my belt back.
Damn.
Yeah. So
listen, man. First of all, I think Jermell got a lot of charisma and he's good for boxing. He knows how to sell himself, man. And I'm listen, boxing needs guys like that. That's the truth. He's a star for a reason. And he's not wrong. He didn't lose his belt in the ring. You know what I mean? He moved up. He didn't lose his belt in the ring as the ring champion, as a unified champion. He beat Brian Custer. He won the fights he needed to win. The problem is he hasn't been at 154 in such a long time, so you can't keep the belts after, an extended period of time. I think he fought Canelo 3 years ago. Yeah. But nevertheless, I like when the guy says stuff like that. And I do think that the 54 division, it would be better served with Jermell around, because he was the lineal champion. He held all 4 belts, and he's a big name, and he got a lot of charisma, so he's going to make big fights. So I think it's a good thing. I read between the lines. He said, "Man, I've been asking to fight," and so that to me says that he's tired of being inactive. He wants to fight. Listen, I would love to see him in there with those guys. Him and Ortiz is a big fight. Him and Earl's a big fight. I know Errol wants to fight him. He seems to want to fight Errol. They got some kind of little thing going. I would love to see Jermell and Boots. That would be a great fight. Jermell is a very sneaky puncher. So, you got to be. It didn't show up versus Canelo because Canelo got an iron chin and great defense. But if you get too rambunctious with him, he can run you into something and knock your head off. He would have a shot against Fondora just because of that. I don't think he would have a shot to outpoint Fondora because I think Fondora's jab and his busyness is too much, and Jermell don't really have a high work rate. But I do think he would have a shot to clip Fondora. You know what I mean? To run him into a kill shot because Fondora don't have the greatest defense in the world. I think he would. He would have a real shot to clip him. Better shot than Keith had because Jermell's 5'11" and he's rangy. You know what I mean? So I would like to see him get in there with those guys. I don't understand why, if he's asking to fight, I don't understand why he has to be out the ring 3 years. I don't get that. But I would like to see him fight all of those guys at 54, man. He would make some really good fights. If you put him in the mix, could you imagine him and Ortiz in Texas or him and Earl in Texas? Those are huge fights, fights. And him and Boots will be great because they both offensive fighters. Boots don't talk much, but Boots is a killer. Yep. Jermell talks a lot, and he's a killer. You got the old lion versus the new lion. I would love to see that fight. Like, I hope somebody answers his calls and get him back in the division because he's good for boxing.
Yes, I'm with you.
I got breaking news.
Come on.
Xander Zayas, Boots Ennis is confirmed. June 27th, Brooklyn, New York. Confirmed by ESPN Ringside.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
It's confirmed.
I'm glad to see Boots and Boozy get the opportunity, man. I really am. They've been working hard for a long time, man. Boozy's like, if I'm gonna be 50 next week. Boozy's about 70, man. So I'm glad to see him get on this big stage like this. I really am happy. Boots is a humble kid, and Xander, I'm impressed with the fact that he took the fight. I'm looking forward to it. It's an East Coast fight. Finally, boxing does the right thing.
Yes.
You got the Puerto Rican shit. You got a kid from Philly. You put the fight in New York. It's an East Coast fight. It wouldn't have been right if they put this fight in Vegas. So I like that, man. It's good for boxing. That's a big time performance, and Boots finally get a chance to show the world what people in Philly, been saying for the long. Brian, I've been telling you this for over 10 years that this kid is real. You know what I mean? So he finally get a chance to show the world something that I seen when I first hired him sparring J-Rock back in 2014. That's how long I known the kid. So I'm happy for all parties, man. As a trainer, as a fighter, you want your attribution, you want your moment to shine, win, lose, or draw. You want the platform. So this is great for them, man. I can't wait. That's great. That's great news.
Hey, man, who you been in the gym with? Tell us who you got coming up. And what's our boy, Cool Boy? What's Stephen Fulton up to these days?
I don't train Stephen Fulton. We just cool.
I know. Yeah, I know y'all just cool. You know how y'all feeling cats are.
Yeah, I see him all the time, man. That's my guy, though. He trains up there at Boozy's gym with Boots in them, so his team is up there. They're in a different part of the city, but I do go up there sometime for sparring. I have a kid, Brian. His name is Iran JYD Peterson. Okay. He has a pretty big social media presence. You can't miss him because he has alopecia, so he lost his hair.
Yes. I met him in Vegas. He came up to me and he did tell me that. He said, I've trained with Breadman. And yes, and he's all over social media, and he was doing social media stuff for the Thurman Fundora fight.
Yeah, bro. Listen to me, bro. He's 14-0 with 13 knockouts. Bro, let me tell you something. I might have one with this kid. Keeping him on the low. We've been building him up. He was a all-city middle linebacker, and he took up boxing a little bit late. He didn't start boxing until he was 23. He had 6 amateur fights, 5 knockouts. Turned pro. I turned him pro 2022. He's 14-0 with 13 knockouts. He's a southpaw. He's about 6 feet. He's dog strong. Wow. He punches like something's wrong with him. I'm telling you, Bri. I'm telling you.
Tommy Hearn style?
No, he ain't talking Marvin Hagler. Bro, trust me when I tell you, I got a shot with this kid. I got a shot with him. That's why I told you when he told me in the interview, I had to see him today because he went in Vegas and I don't like him to be out the gym long.
Yes.
This kid do anything I ask him to do. This kid, I got a shot with this kid. I don't say if a guy is going to be a world champion. I don't say none of that kind of stuff. But all I'm saying is that I got a shot with this kid. If I could get a little bit more time and keep developing them, the big promoter signed this kid. This kid is going to hurt somebody, bro. I'm telling you, he can fucking punch.
Wow.
You hear what I'm telling you?
Wow.
He can punch, and he is strong, and he's athletic. And the best thing about him is anything I tell him to do, he'll do it. When I say anything, I mean anything. He gives me no pushback, nothing. I don't care if I tell him to walk on his hands for 2 miles. I swear to God, he don't give me no pushback. There's no such thing as I don't feel like it or none of that. That kid goes, I gotta stop him from leaving the gym. He'd be like, "You sure you don't want no more?" Sure. He's like, he's crazy. He's a little off. He'd be like, you need me to do anything else? I'm like, go home, man. That kid, he works a full-time job. He got 6 kids. He works 6. He works his ass off. And you know what? That's a good thing because that gives him motivation. Man. That gives him motivation. He don't run the streets. All he do is just train and be with his family, and he works overnight for the trash company. Bro, Brian, I'm telling you, I got one with this kid, man. Yes. I just need a little bit more time, just to smooth out a couple of things, but I got a blank canvas. And the best thing about him, he may not have a long amateur career, but what he has is he don't have no wear and tear on him, but he's learned his trade in the gym because I throw him in there with killers and he comes out okay. Boots, J-Rock, Caleb, Karan. Yeah. I sent him to camp with Laura. Now, I'm not saying he get the better of everybody because he don't. He get his butt kicked sometime. But guess what? He come back and he want more. You know what I mean? He want more. He asks for more. And I got the grit. Man, bro, this is the one. This is the kid. This kid right here, he do something for. He make me like really I get really inspired to train. Like I could drive to the gym. I live far. I drive to the gym 50 minutes every day just to see this kid. Wow. And I got some other kids. I got Dylan Price. Dylan Price is a really, really talented kid. I really love training him. I got a kid named Alonzo Neal and Sean McCalman. But right now, Jay is he's the novelty amongst my guys. He's the guy that people are kind of wondering, you know, where he's gonna be, and because after people box him, they respect him. Like it's like, oh, okay. When I sent them to camp with Laura, they're like, wow, you know what I mean? And he has some things to learn. You know, Boots kicks his butt sometime. He comes back, like, and he never shies away from work. He don't even ask me who he's sparring. He don't ask me. Brian, I swear to God, he don't ask me. I don't have to say to him. Some guys you might have to say, well, you sparring this guy. Well, who is he? They want to know. He don't ask one question. I swear to God, he don't care what weight it is and who they are or none of that. Let's go to work. He's a different kind of kid, man.
What's his best weight right now?
I'm gonna say 60. I don't want to take him too low and do all of the tricks to make him make weight. But I got a funny feeling he can make 54. He only walk around in 180 pounds. He's not a guy that gets overly heavy. He's 6 feet, but he's not skinny. Right. He's built the right way. He's kind of built a little bit like Jermell, but he's probably a little bit more muscular up top. You know how Jermell's tall, but he's not skinny? Right. That's kind of how I will remind you of this kid, but I think he's bigger than Jermell up top. And he gets his athleticism from football. He can run. He's fast. He got a lot of things going for him, man. You know, he's 30, so that's probably, you know, that might scare promoters away. But I've been getting contacted by a lot of promoters with this guy. And hopefully he'll be getting signed really soon. And hopefully you get to see him. You get to see him. I haven't been contacted by Zuffa, but I've been contacted by Top Rank. I've been contacted by ProBox, and PBC has shown some interest. So we got to just see which way we're gonna go. But this kid here.
The reason I mentioned Zuffa is because they're trying to build their stables up.
No, that's fine. Listen, I'm not saying
they're throwing money.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to Zuffa, but you can only go to who wants you. Nobody from Zuffa has reached out to me about him yet. I'm just telling you the people that I've had conversations with. I've had conversations with ProBox, Top Rank, and PBC. But this kid, he does it for me. And the thing about it is, I don't really hinge my success on wins and losses. I just love going through the process with him, and let's see where he goes. Again, I'm not saying he's guaranteed to be a world champion, but what I am saying is he has a shot. He has a real shot to win the world title, and he can really punch, bro. He can punch. He could break your face, man. He really can. He can really punch, man. He can hurt you, man. If you see some of his fights on YouTube, you'll see like he hits guys and he don't even have to load up. He has hard fists, man. I really love training this kid. Hopefully we can get the right opportunities. And I hope he's listening to this. Hope he listens to me the same way now, the way he does now when he gets money. Because that's the difference. You know what I mean? Can you listen and not be argumentative and not be adversarial when you got $2-3 million in the bank? It's a difference. Yep. Can you wake up 5 o'clock in the morning? This kid, one time when I first started training him, he didn't have a car. And we got to the track. I get to the track maybe like 5:45 in the morning. And I thought it was a homeless person on the ground sleeping. And it was him. Because he had caught a cab to the track because he wanted he didn't want to be late. I was like, this kid's a little bit different.
Yeah.
One time we was in this place called Fairmount Park. We was running these hills, and you can't, Philadelphia's a tough place, man. So you can't just walk back there just doing anything. You gotta be careful walking back there. And I walked back there, I heard something rustling around in the woods, and it was him, man. Because he would have to catch cabs and catch the bus to the track real early in the morning. He didn't have a car. He didn't want to be late. So he would have to get there like 5:20, 5:30 in the morning, and he'd get tired and go to sleep and lay down on the ground. I'm telling you, this kid is different. He got, what he's willing to do? He's willing to suffer. Not all fighters are willing to suffer. He's willing to suffer, man. Sometimes I train him so hard, I'll be like, damn, man, I got to get this boy a break off.
Sounds like Rocky, bro.
Bro, he's crazy. I'm telling you, there is no limit on how hard you could train him. Earl is like that too, but I haven't trained Earl from an early stage. He don't have a breaking point. He'll just go until you just till there's no more left, and he just I'm serious. You gotta send him home. He don't have that point of. I've never heard him be like, "Yo, man, you gonna overtrain me." He don't even talk like that. You got to tell him, yo, man, take your butt home, go get an ice bath, get a massage, and take off. That's how you got to do him, or you'll just grind him out. But he's truly a dog. That's the only word I could describe for him. What you tell him to do is what he do, and there's no in between. He has no compromising any. So that's why I enjoy training him so much. Yep,
it's good stuff.
You know something about that. David sent me one of his videos, and that's when I first learned. He sent one in February. I see February 6th. David sent me one of his videos. That's when I first learned about him. But it was on social media. That's why I saw him, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know he fought."
Yeah. You know what, man? The kid got people might not take him serious as a fighter because he got a social media presence. And I'm not a big social media guy. I'm a little older, so I'm from a different generation. I don't like all the stuff that the kids say on social media, but I give him grace with it because he got to generate income, man. The kid got 6 kids. You know what I mean? He got 6 kids, man. And right now he's not making no money off boxing. Right now, me and his dad got to do everything, and we've been doing it 14 fights. You know what I'm saying? So he has to supplement his income. So I give him grace with social media. But for anybody that think he's not a real fighter, let him keep believing that. He's 100% real. 100%
I saw he was working with Errol when he was over there.
No, he didn't spar Earl. Okay.
I saw a video like them together. I don't know if
they were together. They were training in the same gym, but pictures and stuff like that could be misleading. Earl spar other people. I wouldn't let them spar. That would be like 2 bulls colliding right now, and I wouldn't do that. It's not about who could get the better of who. It's about a war that if Earl is coming to me to work and he's trying to get himself back together, you don't let a guy who's been off 3 years spar a kid like that coming off the streets. Yeah. Jay ain't no joke, bro. You just can't just walk in the gym and box him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of dude. He's in the gym every day. So as a trainer, I wouldn't
I wouldn't put Errol in that position. Errol got a lot more experience. He's done more in the game, but you don't just come off the street sparring a big, strong, physical kid like that. And Errol has got all the heart in the world. So you know what's going to happen. They're going to just dog it out. You know what I mean? And that's not the way you do a fighter like Errol. I got too much respect for Errol to put him through that. And he might could kick Jay's butt, but I don't know. But that's a grinding dog war in the gym, and Errol coming out to me to work on some things and get sharp. That's not the way you do things. So no, people been asking me for a long time. I want to clear it up. They never sparred.
Interesting, man. Breadman, man, we appreciate you, man. Hey, I when we done here, I gotta get your address, bro. I gotta send you some merch. We got some new merch. We got T-shirts here. We got that. We're gonna send you. And
right. I still got the shirt you sent me from before, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send you my address as soon as I get off.
Yes. So I gotta send you. I'm gonna send you the shirt, and what are you, extra large or large? Which one?
Stay extra large, man.
Because they'll shrink up a little bit.
Don't hurt my feelings. I'll take an extra large.
Stay comfortable, champ.
Yeah.
Hey, before we let you go, I remember last time I spoke to J-Rock, he said something to me, man, and it shook my being. He said, man, you got to understand, Brian, 75% of these guys when we fighting are on something. And I was like, come on, J-Rock. And he said, I'm being modest. What do you think?
Well, I can say this, man. There's a lot of guys that's messing around in boxing. You hear fans, and not even just fans, like people in boxing, like I've heard people take up for guys who test positive, and they'll say stuff like, well, he only had a small dose in it.
Right.
Do you think that couldn't have affected his performance? And I hate to hear that. And the reason why I hate to hear that, especially with the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney case, right? I hate to hear that because if you're cheating in boxing, you're going to microdose, right? So you're going to put a little bit in you so you can get it out of you, put a little bit in you so you can get it out of you because you don't know when the people are going to come knock on your door. So it's always going to be a small amount. Always going to be a small amount, unless you're just an idiot and you just overdo it and you don't think they're going to knock on your door. You're going to have a small amount, right? So I hate that when guys say, well, it was just this much. It shouldn't have been there. And unless you have a tangible, logical explanation, then you cheated. Period. And we're moving the goalposts on now. We're trying to prove intent. Did they ingest it accidentally? Well, if we get to that part, bro, the burden of proof is too hard to tell if a guy did something on purpose. Because here's the thing: for all of the things that you take illegally or ban, right? There's always going to be you. If I'm doing something wrong, right? Here's what I mean by that. If I'm in Mexico and I want to do a PED, let me see what you got. What PED would I use? You guys tell me.
Clenbuterol.
You know why? Because they put clenbuterol in the meat in Mexico. So you want to have a built-in excuse. You got it. My man right there with the hat on, he got it. That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, okay. So if you're cheating, right, the person who's giving you these drugs, because the fighters, they aren't like educated in sports science. Somebody is dosing them and they're putting them on cycles, right? So they're going to give you your dog ate my homework excuse before you ever get caught. So wherever you are, whatever you're taking, that excuse is always going to be right in the chamber, right to shoot, right out. So, okay, what was it, Connor Benn? He said it was eggs, right? Oh, right?
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia, he's going to say, well, I don't know. He said about 5 or 6 different things. I'm not sure which one is his, right? But then you got, I'm not trying to be funny or attack Ryan Garcia. I think he's a good fighter. I'm just saying that guys always have their excuses ready, right, waiting for him. So if you have Tyson Fury, right? He had the wild boar. Remember that?
Yeah.
Then Canelo, I was eating steak. Yep. They're always going to have that. So boxing now has moved the goalpost of, okay, well, he does have a legitimate excuse. So it's almost like, I mean, what can you do? And Julian, let me say this, man. Julian's like a son to me. And whatever anybody say about his career, he was clean.
Yeah.
We signed up for VADA. We signed up for USADA. We raised our hand. We went in the WBC clean testing program. We did everything we could to ensure a level playing field. And the one thing I can say about Julian is his body slipped at the time that 35 and 36-year-old fighters' body slipped when you're clean. Julian will be 36 next week. Our birthdays is 3 days apart. He was clean. So that's why he faded the way he faded, because it was nothing extra in his body. There was no bullshit. There was nothing to revive him and do great. You got to eat. You got to drink water. You got to do everything perfect, because most times genetically, you're going to lose it after a certain point. Julian had 87 amateur fights, and his pro fights were hard and they was tough. So he slipped according to schedule. And I'm not saying guys that last longer than Julian are doing something, but I am saying that boxing has made it so hard to punish the cheaters, because now they're trying to prove, now they're making them prove burden of proof as far as culpability of, do they know they was really taking anything? Did they accidentally ingest it, or did they take it on purpose? That shouldn't matter. If you come up positive on the test, you should be suspended for at least 2 years and fined. Period. End of story. Nothing else. So that way, because the punishments are not strong enough to deter the cheaters. It's not. Let me say something else. Caleb Plant's a clean fighter. You know, people might think me and Caleb are at odds. I love Caleb. I just can't go out there and work with him no more because we didn't have a good camp, and it was just that I already went over that. But Caleb is clean. So if you see him slipping a little bit, you're gonna see a guy that's clean slipping. That guy take every vitamin he can and do everything for his body, because he's in his 30s and he knows that it's harder to get in shape. So when you see guys have these like up and down performances, I give them grace, because I know that their bodies sometimes they can't do what they used to do. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. So Julian, he probably is feel a little bit jaded by this era, because he knows that guys have been probably a little bit getting away with little things, and he knows that he's clean. And I'm gonna give y'all one last thing before I go. As a trainer, the opposing team has never asked us to test first. My team has always been the team that said, wait a minute, what about VADA? You can ask any matchmaker, you can ask anybody from PBC, you can ask anybody anywhere. My team has always been the first, even if I don't handle that for my team, the first thing I would ask is, yo, man, make sure we get testing.
Yeah.
Make sure we get testing. Make sure we get testing. The longer, the better. We can start sticking needles in this now. I've called Margaret Goodman when we were in the WBC clean testing program, when Julian fought Ishe Smith. We couldn't even afford testing. We were in the clean testing program, which is free. I called her, but like, yo, we're out in California doing camp. We subleased Peter Quillen's condo, and we was out in California doing like 3 or 4 weeks of our camp. They came and knocked on the door 5 o'clock in the morning. I've always been the guy that raised my hand when it comes to testing. There's not one team that could ever say that we didn't ask them first for testing. Y'all can take that however way you want to take it, but that's the honest to God truth. No team has ever, I've never had a fight presented to me for one of my fighters, and then part of the fight be, oh, well, you guys got to test. I'm always the one, or somebody from my team is always the one that says, well, what about testing? It's always a rebuttal towards it, every single time.
Well, listen, man, I got nothing but true love for you. You know that, man. I thoroughly enjoy Stephen Breadman Edwards. I'm gonna put this merch in the mail today. I appreciate you so much, my brother. God, I appreciate you, man.
I'm gonna send you my address right now, B.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
All right.
Breadman, that's the dude, man. I'm telling you, man, there's no better guy in boxing, knowledge-wise, trainers. I mean, he's just a great dude, man.
Man, the info,
insights.
man.
Yeah, bro. You see that? Yeah, the insights are
the info, man.
Official.
Amazing.
Super good insights, man.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And
I can see why Errol wanted to pick his brain.
Yes. Yes.
He know it all. He knows it all.
He knows it all. I mean, he can go way back too, folks. And this is the type of stuff we're going to try to do for you from a show standpoint, bring you type of content like this. Hit that QR code, man. We appreciate anything. $2, $5, $10, $20, $50,000, whatever. We want to do this. And you know what? I think what we ought to do, man, we're going to try to take this show on the road. We should go out to Philly, man, try to get into Boots camp.
Sounds like a great idea, BC.
You know what I mean? And sit down there.
Action,
with all three of us go down there and go check him out, man. I feel great for them because he's been wanting this for a long time to show the world how special he is. And now he's finally getting that opportunity. And then to do it here in NYC.
On the east side, bro.
Oh,
on the east side, man. That's great.
Mm-hmm. That's phenomenal. That's and I know we're supposed to have Regis Prograis on. Let's find out and see where Regis is up to.
Where Regis is.
In the meantime, man, just want to give another big shout out, man, to our super chatters today.
Yeah, please.
HTX Rodriguez, Calvin Lincoln 1896.
Nice.
The Libra 926.
Yeah.
And of course, OTB Boxing School.
OTB.
We appreciate you guys, man,
yes,
supporting the show. You know, we do it for you guys, and you know, we're going to be out on the road now, according to BC. You might see me and Colin maybe out there at some of these pressers. So this support is really appreciated. And listen, and if you're not, you know, throwing some coin at us, definitely hit the like button, hit that share.
Yep.
Send it out to all your peoples. Everybody that loves boxing wants to go ahead and soak it up with us and tap in. We appreciate that too. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate the super chatters for today. And man, let's see if my man Regis is still tapping in today.
What you think about what you think about the Xander now and Boots now that it's finalized is good? That breakdown was something. Breadman said he think he could stop it. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we saw his last fight. It turned into a slugfest towards the end, you know, with Baroa.
Yeah.
It was a slugfest, and you know, he can't do that with Boots, you know.
He moves good on the back foot. Zayas moves, he knows how to fight on that back foot, man.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you know, I know that Team Zayas is not going to go in there and try to go punch for punch with Boots. Sure. That's 100%. But when you got a guy that moves as well as Zayas does on the back foot, expect short pockets of engagement. And that's the type of fight that I see Zayas winning. I never seen Boots hurt. I think maybe he got clipped in one of the fights, matter of fact. And now that I forget, I forgot what fight it was that kind of.
I'm gonna tell you the one that he had. Let's see, Jaron Ennis. There was a fight we did with him. It was in Atlantic City, and he went toe to toe, and we were like, "Whoa, that's the first time we've seen Boots."
That's the fight I'm talking about too. I forgot.
Karen, that was let's see, was it Villa? It might have been Roman Villa.
Let's see. It wasn't Stanios's. Was it Karen Chuck Kazadian? No.
I think Roman Villa. He beat him out at the very end, but they went boom. I mean, them two cats threw. They threw. I think it was the Villa fight.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was the Villa fight. And I think we did that one in Atlantic City, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the ballroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the fight where, he had to bite down and get the dude out of there because they threw toe to toe. At least the last, I want to say, like from like 9 to 12, it was a brawl.
I feel like the most interesting part about this fight is going to be the crowd out there in Brooklyn. I feel like it's like a clash. You got your Philly folks, and then you got your Puerto Ricans from New York.
Like shout out to all my Puerto Ricans in New York. They coming out.
That crowd is going to be insane.
Boricuas, they go,
La Isla del Encanto.
Yeah,
we saw with Serrano. They showed up. They showed up for Serrano. So man, coming out to BK.
It will be interesting because, I will give Danny Garcia props. Danny used to make Barclays Center his home because people would give him much love when he would fight at Barclays Center. So he had the Philly folk coming in, plus the New York folk were rocking with Danny too. So I'd like to see Boots kind of do that. Trying to come and fight more often here in NYC and kind of try to get that East Coast love here, man.
Yeah.
I was interested in catching you guys' take on Moses Itauma, man. Like, he's the real deal, man. But what's too fast or too early for him as an opponent? Because if he's going straight to Usyk, and I agree with some of the stuff that Breadman is saying, right? But that experience, man, those pockets of in the fight where experience just. It can really be too early for Usyk. A lot of people were clamoring, he saw what he did to Jermaine. Nobody did that to him. Yeah. But we're talking about levels. Usyk is levels.
It's the same conversation with Floyd and Canelo when they said, Canelo's this young buck rising, but Floyd's already established himself. Did Canelo fight him too early in his career? I feel like it's a similar conversation because Usyk is at the top of his game right now. I don't think anyone touches Usyk right now, but yeah, I mean,
the miles, all that makes sense. The miles on the tires, the the amateur pedigree, but the style that Usyk has, he has a style that he never really took too much punishment. And shout out to Lomachenko's dad, who trained him for a while and implemented a lot of good recovery, a lot of good fast twitch muscle, and Breadman just had a lot of good things to say, right? As far as him being a better fighter, so to speak, against taller guys, right? And with Itauma, he's going to be lacking some of that advantage because of the speed and youth and all that. But I think that experience. I mean, look at Dubois, right? A lot of us thought that maybe Dubois' power was gonna nullify some of the stuff Usyk, but Usyk made it look easy, man.
Yeah, that's true.
It look easy. I wouldn't put him in there with Usyk right away. And somebody in the chat actually mentioned Ajit Kabayel. I think that if you want to quote unquote test before you get to Usyk, and I'm gonna tell you, man, Ajit Kabayel is not. I don't think that's even a test. That's a sure fight that he's gonna have to level up, and that's what we've been looking for Moses Itauma. We want to see a level up fight. Jermaine Franklin, did you guys see the knockdown? Did you guys feel like the knockdown was too early? Come on.
What do you mean?
Like
knockdown?
They stopped. They stopped.
Yeah, the stoppage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not the best. I'm not the biggest fan of people saying, "Oh, let him ride." I don't want people to get fully hurt, but yeah,
he hit him with that uppercut, and then what put him down was a little. It didn't even really hit him hard. That last little jab that he hit him with to put him to the floor
to knock him down.
But I felt like he spread out, bro. He went. Yeah. He took a nap.
I had no problems with that stoppage, man. I had none, not any. And I'm with you guys, man. Some of these cats can get hurt.
Look at the woman who just
on the UFC.
Oh man,
you see in the UFC?
UFC. But
I'm talking about
the one that. Oh yeah. You're talking about.
She just awoke last.
Coma, yeah.
She just on social media. She's with the woman she fought, ISIS or whatever. And they took a picture together, and she was in a coma for a couple days.
She was an induced. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the UFC one. That one was bad too.
Yeah,
and that was a late stoppage as well. She was already out, and they started choking her out. So,
bro, that was a very crazy that UFC fight between those two girls, bro.
Yeah,
she caught her with the left, right? Was it?
Yeah,
dropped her, hit her with another
and then choked her out while she was already out. And she looked like she was really out.
Bro,
like
she was glazed.
Her eyes were open. Her eyes were open, but she was not moving. And I've never seen anything like that before.
That was bad. But then
I've
again,
never seen anything like
I'll
that.
go into this, right? I'll tell you guys, man. And sometimes you guys got to save us, man. You want, as a fighter, you want to go in there. You want to keep rocking out. You want to go ahead and be that Rocky.
They want to go out on the shield, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, you got to protect yourself first.
I think Jermaine
and that's
Franklin,
what the refs are there to protect you. Same thing with Keith, man. Keith would have got knocked out. Keith would have got knocked out if they didn't stop that.
Without question.
And you know what, man? I think too, man. As a fighter's in there, he wants to give it his all. He wants to go out and say, I don't think he's thinking or she's thinking about how's that going to look for my career, right? I mean, getting stopped or taking a knockdown is different from being carried out, flat on your face, in a stretcher. It looks bad, man. It looks bad. I don't think. I think did Jermaine Franklin stay in for the post fight inside the ring? I don't think so.
I'm not. I don't remember.
I think he walked out. Yeah, he was a little pissed off too.
Yeah,
Don't remember.
No, they just interviewed Moses. By the way, I just got this text from Prograis people saying that he's sparring right now.
Oh snap! You're getting ready.
Sorry, Regis thought it was going to be at 12 o'clock Pacific time. Wanted to know if he could join you guys later. I'm like, we off the air, man.
Regis, keep working, baby. Keep working. We rooting for you.
You got a big fight. You got a big fight.
We got a big fight for you.
Yeah.
Hold up, fellas.
Yes.
We got. I think we just opened up the memberships here at the Last Stand.
Come on.
I think we just got our first new member.
Oh,
shout out real quick.
Uncle Ray Ray.
Uncle Ray Ray.
Thank you, Ray Ray.
Uncle Ray Ray.
Uncle Ray Ray 59 just became a YouTube member. Shout out to you, my brother. We won't forget
He's locked
you, man.
in on the Last Stand. He's
locked
in.
He's locked in, man. He's locked in.
Yes, sir.
And we're definitely going to be treating our members with a lot of perks. So, shout out to Uncle Ray Ray that just started. We're putting the perks together. We have them already, but we're going to go ahead and start implementing them. We were just waiting for some of the subscribers and some of the viewers to actually tap in and start to notice that join button.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed it, when you click on our videos, you know BC's bringing you the latest and greatest in all the fighters you want to see. All right? And a lot of this stuff right now, he's giving it to you. He's giving it to you. But, we want to treat our members extra special. So we're going to be doing special content for them.
Yeah.
Every now and then we will be doing a members only live. So, if you want to continue to tap into these interviews that we're bringing you, tap in with us on the memberships, man. Show some love and support. And we'll definitely be bringing you guys the interviews that BC's been bringing, the coaches that come on, you know what I mean? The special guest.
Yep.
There's not too many people doing it right now like us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a podcast, but yes, we bring you what you want to hear and what you want to see. So tap in with us on the memberships, hit that join button, and we appreciate all of you, man.
We appreciate you, Ray Ray. He at work. He's at work.
I
and
like
locked
it.
in.
I like it. Yo, appreciate you, Ray Ray, for joining the membership. Everybody else, hit the memberships, man. You can hit that QR code up there. Send us a little something so we can do these
Super
type of things. We want to take this show on the road. We want to go to the arenas, to the weigh-ins, the press conferences. We're gonna really up this thing. I thought it was interesting because doing the show, like we did the prelims, and Cameron joined us on the prelims.
Oh,
right?
I seen you with Killer Cam.
BC. That's my guy, bro.
Killer
I love
Cam.
me some Killer Cam.
Killer Cam was on there, man.
First, mad funny,
funniest dude on the internet right now.
Funny. And we got a lot of respect. Number one, he said in between fights, he said, "Yo, I'm not even going to front, bro." He said a lot of times, he said, "I'll even check out your podcast." And he said, "That's how I get a lot of my good boxing knowledge." He said, "Because we've been," and he's right. They've started having a lot of fighters come on their show now. He said, he said, "I saw your thing with Oshaki Foster. We went and had to go get him on the show."
Not for nothing. Cam too, man. He's got a boxing family.
Family, man. His uncle was basically a manager. And
he comes from a boxing family, and you could tell that he knows boxing, bro. So
yes.
Killer Cam, huh?
Killer Cam gave us mad respect, and in fact, it's a true story. We took a picture before they had the ceremonial weigh-in. But Fondora, and I gave him some merch. I gave him the T-shirt. He was like, "Thank you." And Gabriella Fundora was like, "Yo, when can I be on the Last Stand? I'm undisputed." I was like,
"That's true. We gotta
get her on, man. She a dog, bro."
I was like, "You're right.
She a dog.
Yeah, absolutely."
It was her birthday, no? It was just her birthday.
Yeah.
They sang "Happy Birthday" for her on the Fundora post presser.
Yes.
Shout out to her.
Sweet girl, man. Gabby is sweet. So I promised her.
Another silent killer. Silent killer.
Exactly.
Yo, see, this is to tell y'all, man, a lot, bro. Just because somebody's a nice person don't mean they can't handle business.
You're right.
All right?
You're right.
They be sleeping on these nice guys, man. Nice girls, bro. They don't sleep.
It's like Triple G. Bro. He's the king of the silent killer. Triple G.
Great example. See,
king of the silent killers, man.
Yeah.
If you saw him walking down the street, you're like, oh, that's a regular old dude.
That's somebody uncle.
Yeah, for real.
I just saw him because did he just get did he just go into the hall?
I think he's like the head of like the amateur boxing or president of the amateur.
I saw some video of it, and he looked like somebody's uncle now. I was like, oh, he ain't drinking no more than what was it, cow's milk or whatever he was drinking. Goat milk, whatever.
Oh my god,
he drinking whole milk now. I said so.
He drinking whole milk now.
Oh god,
no 2% for him now.
Yeah, he put that goat milk away, bro.
Oh my god.
I was like, damn, what happened to Triple G? He triple X G.
Hey, yo, he don't gotta be in shape all the time now.
That's true.
He don't gotta be in shape all. Let him enjoy himself, man.
Great guy though, man. And that's one guy, man.
Great career.
That's one guy. When you talk to David Benavidez, that was one guy that hit Benavidez hard in the sparring.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk to Benavidez, you say, which one of these guys was really hitting me hard? It was Triple G.
Triple G,
yeah, man. You ever seen him with the kettlebell with the wrist?
Yeah.
I started doing that because of him.
I started
doing that in the gym, man. That's bro. When you
turn
over punches,
turn it over,
turning over that punch, man. You get a lot of strength from that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys too when Breadman was talking about a number of different things, but some of his takes, you look at and you be like, damn, that's really, I didn't think of it like that. That's, to me, the one thing that I enjoy about him is that, like you say, so cerebral that he gives you some stuff that you're like, you know what? I didn't even think of it like that.
Yeah.
But the one when he and I never forget that, it was not too long ago I had that conversation with J-Rock. And when he told me that, he said, man, let me tell you something, man. All of these dudes, he said, you like all these fighters? He said, I'm telling you, 75% of these cats on something. And he said, I'm putting it. And I'm being modest with that number. He says, because everybody knows how to cheat the system now.
You know, this is something that's plagued not only this sport, but all the sports across the board, man. And people have gotten more and more clever on how they do it.
For sure.
The sciences have gotten better. The products, right, have gotten better. Rest in peace, Conti, right? Like, when even Dev caught a lot of slack, just being part of that snack program. Conti was one of the guys that actually was producing certain things, and he was very good at those sciences. So, how many other Contis are out there? How many other guys can do the same thing that he did? And you just never know. You just never know with a fighter, man. And as much as we want, everybody to be on the clean boxing program, it's all on timing. Yeah, they can pop up on you whenever they can, but like I'm pretty sure there's always like some type of scope to be able to scope these things out from afar. You just want to hope that everybody's clean. I mean, Deontay Wilder, we interviewed him here, right?
Right.
Yeah.
People
that was the biggest selling card for the interview was about Fury and his cheating scandal.
Yes.
And one thing he brought up is like when people selling cards, like, oh, it's such a small dose. I feel like that's very deceiving because you don't really think about it like, oh, it's so small, like it doesn't affect anything. But you don't know how much they've taken before that. And that small dose could just be the ending of their process. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like Ryan's biggest, I don't know, complaint or what he said was it was so small, it had to be contaminated, but he could have taken such a small dose and continually taken that small dose until it becomes a big dose,
We got we're supposed to be talking to Tszyu. We got interviews with him, episodes that are going to drop, episodes from Brian Norman. We're going to be doing here for the people. So just to give people who are watching, those are some episodes that are going to be dropping for you. So make sure you tap in. We drop episodes every Monday. So make sure you do that. Again, hit the QR code. Just send us a little something so you can support the show. I'm curious, Tszyu, Brian Norman. Colin, I'll start with you. And then Alex, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you want to hear most from Tszyu? What do you want to hear most from Brian Norman?
From Tszyu, I feel like they're Tszyu and Brian Norman are similar in the way that they were, I guess, beaten and then but like I want to hear like their comeback process because Tszyu's losses were pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like the bloody battle that they had, and then to lose the rematch and then go on and lose to Murtazaliev. I want to know what his mentality, you know, because that could really make or break a fighter, you know. Like Fulton, when Stephen Fulton lost to NUA, he said that loss really made him who he is now. I want to know what happened or what. I guess it's still a process, but you know, to see what went on, like how do you deal with the losses and you know being sort of at the top of that division and then falling so far down, and now he's trying to climb back up and fight Errol. You know,
that's a great question. I'll make sure I ask him that because I had to call that fight, and if you remember, Costa came to that fight, and that was the first time that Costa had come to one of his professional fights.
Yeah.
And here
to
it is.
Lose like that.
It's in Vegas and to lose like that. And I saw Costa like walk back and he was walking out of that ballroom like this.
Yeah.
So I know that the pain
like that is like the worst possible situation that he could have been in that night.
That's a good one. I'll make sure I bring that up.
And
what
then
about
for Brian Norman, I feel like it's different for him because he's so young.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I feel like I saw him talk about, I forget what podcast he was on, but he was talking about how nervous he was to be on that stage. Like as soon as he walked in the ring, he talked about how nervous he was. And I just want to know like what went on that night, like what happened after that night. Because it seemed as though that right after that night, him and his dad had that falling out or whatever.
Yeah.
So I want to know what happened after that night, because I guess the nerves took over and he didn't look like himself because he was the favorite in many people's eyes, you know.
You could argue he's the one who made Debo.
Yeah.
What did Bill Haney say?
We went and took on Brian Norman, the biggest puncher at 147, and Debo dropped me.
Yeah, that's the best.
Devin had Norman holding. He had him hugging him.
Yes.
You would have thought it'd be the opposite.
If I lying, that's what Bill Haney said.
That's exactly what Bill said, bro.
Do the Devin Haney. Do the Devin Haney. Do the Devin Haney.
My man Bill was not playing when he said that, man. I mean, look, with Brian Norman, adding to what Colin just said, I really would like to know if he could point out what didn't go right or what went wrong during his preparation leading up to Devin.
Okay.
And moving forward, what has him parting, I guess I want to say parting ways, so to speak, with his father as a trainer? And I'm going to say temporarily, because you never know, he would probably bring him back on, right? But just parting ways and maybe taking a break from that. What has that done for him as a fighter? You know, because sometimes, you know, you just need a different look, you know. It doesn't mean that Brian Norman Sr. wasn't doing what he had to do. But I know that there's certain little things that as a fighter, you know, you have to look at, and you're at the end of the day responsible for your own career. You're a self-proprietor. You're your own business. You really are the one that takes control of your career. And I don't think that any hard feelings should be felt. And I'll tell you guys, you know, even as an amateur, like I ended up going right back, rest in peace, my coach Hawk, right, from Elizabeth Rec Center here in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But I did a full circle, man, and I went to other trainers to try and see if I could maybe pick something up, or maybe if they had more time for me. And, you know, and you as a fighter, you're constantly trying to see where, and if you're especially a thinker, right, you want to see where you're going to get the best work, the most benefit, the attention that you need, all these other things. So, you know, I never really gave Norman any slack for that. You know, I know sometimes stick with who you started with. Yeah, that's right. You know, but sometimes you do need to step out. And I hit a full circle, came back to my coach Hawk. I won a state championship or whatnot. And you know, sometimes you just need that different look, man. And,
change the scenery. Change
the scenery a little bit. And as far as my man Tim. Man, Tim, what I gotta respect about Tim is that he keeps coming back. He's a dog. But what's his goal at this point? You know what I mean? Just you know, making big fights. Does he still has his eye on 154-pound title?
That's one of the questions. I'm happy that's one of the questions. When you look at the Fondoras, Xander, Zayas, Boots, Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, do you really think that you can win the strap at 154?
Yeah. Or is he just making big fights?
You're just making big fights, you know.
Making that
Errol
money.
doesn't have a belt.
Yeah.
Errol doesn't have a belt. He's fighting Errol, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. Yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially after the decline, you know.
Yeah.
Does he think that it's even possible? You know,
Oh.
like I don't think Fondora would fight him again, you know.
Yeah.
And if Fondora is reigning that division, then what do you do?
Guys, this has been good, man. It's like this 3 hours just like zip by, bro. 3 hours.
We zoomed on this one.
Zoomed on this. Zoomed on. You know what? We got to do it again, man. People want these live shows, so we're gonna have to do another one here.
Let's get it, man.
We'll do another one.
We got Wilder this week.
That's right. We got Wilder this week. Tim Tszyu this week.
Tim Tszyu fight week.
We got a lot of good things to talk about.
Yeah. So you know what? We may have to do it again. Look, we got the merch. So you hit that QR code, get some merch. Got t-shirts, $30. We got hoodies, $40. Get that.
Yeah, if you're interested also in maybe buying some of the merch, hit the QR code in the memo, put hoodie or t-shirt.
Yep.
And
address.
And if you could put the address, but if not, you could put your contact number there. We can reach back out to you.
Yes.
You can DM us on Instagram.
DM us on
at
Instagram.
The Last Stand Podcast.
Or if you just want to support, you know what I mean, hit the QR code, obviously, and make, whatever donation you can to help us continue producing and actually getting in through those doors.
Yeah.
Shout out to BC, always bringing the best over here.
We got a super chat.
Got a super chat.
Got a super chat. Uncle Ray Ray.
Uncle Ray Ray again.
That's the last
the goat
uppercut.
is back.
The uppercut that Moses Itauma hit Jermaine Franklin with. Right there, right at the last second.
There we go.
He said, I'm loving the authenticity of the show. Brian is a cheat code because he knows everyone. I do. Listen, I love the sport and I respect everybody. I told Alex I respect anybody who makes a living stepping inside that ring.
Yeah.
That's why boxing is the metaphor is like the theater of life. It is like the theater of life because sometimes in life you get knocked down and what you going to do? Are you going to get back up or are you going to take that 10 count? That's why I love this sport so much, man. It is really the theater of life. This is great. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you guys tapping in. Especially when we do these live shows. And I always want to make sure too, I give y'all little nuggets because, talking with different people, I hear different things about stuff that's going on. So I want to give y'all the latest and greatest of what fights may be happening, who's doing this, what's doing that, and the things are down the line. But listen, we'll do more of these shows. We'll have Colin. We got Alex. And we just appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Last Stand Live. We will do it again. Make sure you catch the next episode of The Last Stand on Monday. Monday it will drop. All right.
Sir.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys.
All right. For Colin, for Alex, and Brian, thanks for watching.
Thank you, Chad.